This one goes out to the man, the myth, the Esquire of Chaos, David S. Gingras, all the best. Let's rock. Thank you, David, for being her rock, for the courtroom smirks and the side-eye talk, for being so beautiful, sharp like a knife, and offering cookies. Here you go, psych. Thanks for the laughs on Reality Steve, where Rachel Juarez brought you to your knees, for standing by Laura longer than most, and for showing that sonogram ghost. Thanks for the truth from a pregnancy faker, and sticking around, letting Laura be a taker, for moving those arms like a baseball coach, and for Greg's email, he's beyond reproach. Thank you, David, you legal tease. You rock, 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 now take a seat, please. All the best, sure, you chaos king, with your smirk, your shrug, you know that thing. Thank you, David, what a ride, with your pop, your pose, you got something to hide. Beautiful chaos in a three-piece suit, you're the rock, oh what a hoot. For confusing folks with your lawyer speak, and the Reddit reveal that made us squeak. Creep vibes loud from your comment thread, beautiful is all you said. Thanks for the circus you helped inflate, and for filing that gem we can't unstate.
Look at me, Daddy. I'm a real judge now.
That's not a joke, that's your filing, seriously. For Rule 26, Chef's Delight, but the Court of Appeals said in black and white, your interpretation ain't based in law or fact. Zero legal weight, zero legal tact. Bravo Esquire, but it's fiction, not fact. Thanks for Planned Parenthood and Taco Bell. Bar complaints, Dr. Mitchell fell. Thanks for Aurora the cat and Italian nachos. Woodnick, Deandra, Isabel, your foes. Hashtag yikes. You're taking this case to the Arizona Supremes, then the U.S. court in your legal dreams. You'll climb each court till your bar card shred, but the legacy's clear. We're all Greg. Thank you, David, still holding tight. Decline chaos, wrong or right, all the best. We mean that true. You held the line with a twisted view. Thank you, David. That courtroom brute with ballerina twirls in a wild dispute. Beautiful. Woo! You won't back down. You're the rock. Oh, what a hoot. Thanks for the truth from a pregnancy faker. Thanks for all you revealed. Can we get more later? You rock, rock, rock. Now take a seat, please. Tell your client to pay her fees. Beautiful. Bye.
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 Hello everybody, this is Bruce from Oregon, Bruce the Moose, Moose on the Loose, coming to you with a new Court of X video today. Now, I'm in the middle of packing up and moving. All the rooms in my house are pretty much empty, so it's going to be a little bit echoey. My van is parked too far away from the house to get Wi-Fi, so it's been a struggle trying to figure out how to make a video today. But I'm here for you. I'm here for you guys. Okay, we're going to make this video. Today we're doing another episode of Court of X. Now, of course, in Court of X, we follow the Owens v. Eckerd paternity case. And in today's episode, we're going to be looking at some tweets on X, on Twitter, some Twixes, some tweeters, some twatters. I don't know what they're called. Xers, Zixers, Zeners. I don't know. We're going to get into it and figure it out. We've got a very special topic today because there's a new account called Thank You David. I've got it pulled up here and we're going to go through it. And of course, David S. Gingras is Miss Owens' attorney in the Owens v. Eckerd paternity case. And so I think this account was created to reminisce and thank this guy for all his contributions to the case. So that's very nice. So let's get into it and see what we can learn. Okay, so we've got the Thank You David account. This is a parody account. This is for entertainment purposes only. Don't take any legal advice from anybody here on Twitter. That's probably just good general life advice. Who knows what the heck's going on here on Twitter? I don't know. Anyway, we've got this new account. It looks good. It says, honoring David S. Gingras, Esquire, the rock Laura clung to as the internet riptide she created swept her away. So we've got this good literary intro. I like it. It's got a lot of imagery and allegory, and it sounds good. Just here to hashtag Thank You David together. Your favorite jingy moments. Okay. Sounds good to me. Now I'm here because 2 hours ago they pinned this post The members of the non-cult formally request, yeah, there's no cult. President Moose, what am I president of? I don't know. I've been elected, guys. Oh, no. Bruce from Oregon, to read aloud the many thanks given to Laura's Rock, David S. Gingras. Well, that's what I'm here for. We're honored to honor. We're honored to honor. Oh my gosh, Your Honor, we're honored to honor the Conor McGregor of litigation. Whoa, Conor McGregor, here we go. Thank you, David, for laughs and evidence that led to Laura's indictment. Yeah, Miss Owens has been charged with 7 felony indictments in Maricopa County. So that's going to be an interesting case all by itself. Here we go. Okay, BJ's and burritos. Guys, I don't know if I'm ready for this. BJ's and burritos. It's too early, guys. I just opened a water. I've had some coffee. I've had a Luna bar. Luna bar, of course, is like Cliff Bars, but for ladies and moose, apparently. Okay, BJ's and burritos says, thank you, David, for showing us Laura impersonated David Katz, Elvis Duran Show's CEO, all in the name of manipulating MM into thinking he'd be a radio star. Yeah, so thanks to the audience who crowdsourced a forensic investigator to take a look at Mike Maricini's laptop, we were able to see these strange emails and text messages related to David Katz and trying to get Mike into the radio business through Laura's connections. Was it all a scam? Investigation continues. Let's see. Antiquated has a bunch of thank yous here. Antiquated says, thank you, David, for trying to get Corey Keith not to file the notice of candor, but I'm glad he filed it anyway. Yeah, Corey Keith was Laura's previous attorney and filed a notice of candor saying he thinks she made false statements via her deposition while he was her lawyer. And of course, Mr. Gingras tried to stop him from doing that. And it didn't work out. Antiquated says, thank you, David, for trying to pimp out Laura to your weird friends over a business dinner where you told us you shared a plate of food. Ooh. Yeah, it's never a good sign when David S. Gingras Esquire is your blind date matchmaker. Need to try something else at that point. Now, guys, in the comments or chat, tell me, what is your take on food sharing? So if you go to a restaurant, do you eat the food and then try to eat other people's food? Do you try to get other people to eat your food? What's your strategy? Personally, I like to order my food, and then because I ordered my food, I feel responsible for my food. I just want to eat my food. I don't want to eat anybody else's food. I don't know. That's just how I am. Maybe it's weird. I digress. Antiquated says, thank you, David, for telling us via video that you missed a filing deadline on another case and got in trouble with the judge. Oh, no. Maybe we can get together this Christmas and get this guy an alarm clock so he can get up on time and not miss filing deadlines. I don't know. That's an idea. Okay, tweeter, Xer wants me to follow a bunch of people. We don't have time for that. We have no time for that, guys. We got to get through this video. Antiquated says, thank you, David, for making it so I can never look at a Taco Bell the same way again. Oh, dear. Yeah. I mean, I'm always down for a Crunch Wrap or a $5 Buck Box or whatever the deal is that they've got going on. You can make Crunch Wraps at home. I did it. But this isn't a cooking show. If it was, we'd get roasted by Uncle Roger, and then we just wouldn't be able to show our faces anymore. Antiquated says, thank you, David, for letting Laura introduce herself as the pregnancy faker on your video, because it turns out your cheeky attempt to be funny is the actual truth. Yeah, it's funny how sometimes people tell on themselves a little bit. It happens, especially when you're live or making a video. Oh my gosh, hopefully, what am I saying about myself? I don't know. I'm in an empty room. Oh boy. Antiquated says, thank you, David, for being a baby gingy gingerbread ding dong dingus douche canoe. Oh my gosh, guys, say that 3 times fast. Now, I'm not one for calling people names. You know, I don't like any of these weird names these people call this lawyer, but I do like some alliteration, and I do like a tongue twister, so that's good. Not too bad. Okay, what do we got? Don't F with Justice is replying to Megan Fox Writer. Just saw Clayton on Fox 10 Phoenix. He said she's still on dating apps. Oh my goodness. So he's referring to Miss Owens. Apparently still on the dating apps. Now, I thought that Clayton did a stand-up job on this Fox 10 Phoenix interview. Go check it out. He does a great job at public speaking. He does a great job at telling the story of this case. And even though the newscaster here is he's a little bit out of the loop, but he's learning as he's going. He's learning as he's going, guys. Give him a little grace. And I think the other thing here is this TEDx talk is still there, apparently. And it's very interesting because the forensic evidence from the Mike Maricini laptop refutes a number of claims in this TEDx video and is directly contradictory. So I think TEDx needs to investigate and try to figure out whether they should have this video up or not. Because based on the laptop evidence, I don't think there's any standing to keep having this video up. I think it's been refuted. In any case, let's keep going. Okay, what is this? Thank you, David. Parody account, Megan Fox. I mean, I don't understand how Twitter works. Are these replies or retweets or reposts or Twixes or tweeters or I don't know. Anyway, Megan Fox says, how many of David Gingras' clients have committed perjury? And why does he have that kind of client so often? Laughing, crying emoji. Good question, Megan. And there's a clip here from an interview, I guess, from some French blog or something. Because if you're going to do an exclusive statement to the press, you might as well do it through some weird French cooking blog or something. I mean, why not, right? He also expressed surprise at the severity of the prosecution, noting, I've been involved in many cases where people have committed perjury. Wait, let me read that again. Quote, I've been involved in many, all caps, cases where people have committed perjury. Oh dear. That's not a good sign. That's not a flex, sir. I don't think that's the flex you think it is. And I've never seen anyone charged. But you knew they committed perjury. Oh dear. That's trouble. So there is something really unusual about Laura's case because she actually got charged with perjury after committing perjury compared to your other cases where people weren't charged for committing all the perjury. Man, this guy is just, this guy's a trouble magnet. I don't know. It sounds to me like he's admitting she committed perjury. I guess he could argue that that's not what he's saying, but that's how it appears to me. The optics are not good. Not good, sir. Okay, thank you, David. Parody account. BS replies to a bunch of people. My favorite is when Dingus claims she thinks she miscarried at 10 weeks, but at the same time uses medical documents that claim pregnancy at 22 weeks in the court filings. Yeah, we have no clinical proof of miscarriage. So there's been all sorts of things like, 20 plus weeks, she's 100% pregnant, but then maybe she miscarried between filing the court case and the February evidentiary hearing. And then her lawyer's current theory that she miscarried previous to filing the case, but she was still carrying on saying she was 100% pregnant. Oh boy, all during the court action up through 20 plus weeks. Very sketchy stuff, guys. Very sketchy stuff. Thanks. BS again replying to a bunch of people. Honest question, if she did miscarry at less than 10 weeks, like you say, why did you submit medical records to the court in one of your filings before the trial as proof she was pregnant at 22 weeks? Yeah, it's very suspicious. And I think his case is kind of like, well, she thought she was pregnant, so we're submitting evidence that she thought she was pregnant. My response to that would be, why do you just think you're pregnant? Why don't you go find out by getting a consistent OBGYN, by getting fetal heartbeat monitoring, by getting a series of ultrasounds, by getting actual legitimate clinical proof of pregnancy and paternity? Oh, suspicious, guys. Okay, let's keep going. Tweeter 2030, Tweeter 2030 says, he put her up on the stand and got her charged with perjury. 2 exclamation points. Ha ha ha. A lawyer so bad that he got his client charged. Oh dear. Maybe. Now, if we go through the indictments, which we need to do, we'll note that some of them are related to things that happened before he was her lawyer, and some of them happened after he was her lawyer. So, I don't know, but it's all a bad look. Oh boy. There we are. Don't F with Justice says she also told the court she was 24 weeks pregnant. So is he admitting she lied again? Oh dear. The perjury is ongoing, guys. It's just a minor thing. Let's see. Where's my mouse? My mouse, guys. My mouse. Why can't I? Oh, I can use my arrow keys. Let's just do that. Laura Owen's attorney still trying to tweet about how she totally miscarried her fake babies at less than 10 weeks when she showed up to court much later wearing a fake ass baby bump is hilarious. Yeah, I don't know what sort of, wardrobe malfunctions were happening here or what was going on or whether she just ate a lot of burritos or Domino's pizza or had a moon bump or had a thing from Amazon.com. I don't know, guys. It's very strange, though, if you go watch those court hearings over Zoom and compare them to the statements about miscarriage at the February hearing and the June 10th hearing and beyond. It's very odd stuff. Oh, somebody retweeted me. Bruce from Oregon says, if the two-factor authentication deduction is true and Laura Owens is Chase J. Jones, then this is the most interesting crime in the entire story. Yeah, so apparently somebody went and used Google's two-factor authentication on the Chase J. Jones Google account using Laura's phone number, and it sent her a reset password request, which it doesn't do if you use just some arbitrary phone number like Dave Neal's phone number or something like that. So this seems to imply that Laura Owens, one of her phone numbers, is Chase J. Jones. And of course, Chase J. Jones was someone who made a Medium article complaining about Clayton Echard dancing on TikTok to music with the N-word. And Chase J. Jones later sent motions to squash subpoenas for Chase J. Jones to show up and testify in the harassment case of that Owens filed against Dave Neal in LA court. Now, this is very complicated, guys, but bear with me, because what seems to have happened here, if Laura Owens is Chase J. Jones, Laura Owens, sitting in Arizona, filed motions to quash under the name Chase J. Jones, a fake name, from a P.O. box in Seattle, sent to LA court. Now, to me, that's like federal mail fraud. I don't know. That seems like a big crime. Like, to me, this is the most interesting story because we're getting into the First Amendment. We're getting into harassment. We're getting into free speech. We're getting into YouTube. We're getting into, all sorts of things here in terms of mailing subpoenas and motions to quash those subpoenas in court in LA. Very interesting stuff. Okay, let's move it along. Don't F with Justice says, and that eight-week twin fetuses can just disappear by being reabsorbed back into the body without any sign of infection or miscarriage whatsoever, or sepsis, yeah. At least according to his email to Omar. Okay, so we've got some emails here to Omar when he was getting into the case and asking them questions. Oh boy. So I think they're trying to sort of claim that maybe like prior to 10 weeks there was a miscarriage of one twin and then the other twin got reabsorbed later or something, or the twin got absorbed. I don't know. It's very strange stuff. There's no clinical proof of any of this, of anything related to a miscarriage or a vanishing twin. I don't think we have any legitimate medical evidence from a provider sent to Clayton's lawyers even indicating that there were twins, let alone boy-girl twins. This whole thing is just a dearth of evidence. A dearth of evidence, guys. And that's the problem. That's where she got into trouble. Natalie Fleming says, OMG, I was just about to say this. Hashtag thank you, David, for Rule 26/Rule 11 safe harbor. Oh, boy. Yeah. Anytime you hear Rule 26 and safe harbor, you got to do the Muppet thing. Blah. Oh, dear. Yeah, anyway. George Costanza parody account. Oh, George. Seinfeld has entered the chat, guys. Thank you, David. You took Laura as a client when no one else would. Very courageous behavior. Yeah, she went through a bunch of lawyers, and it seems like those lawyers actually wanted her to come clean and, maybe tell the truth or maybe admit that she was never pregnant and just get the case out there with a good ruling of non-paternity and non-pregnancy and just walk away. That was the out. But she's sticking to her story that she was 100,000,000% pregnant. I don't know. I haven't seen the evidence that is sufficient for me to be convinced. I have not seen it. In any case, Rach here says, tweet that didn't age well. Oh, thank you. Oh, no. Can we open this in a new window? I want to open this link in a new window. Will it do it? It's not doing it for me. I'm not going to click it. It's probably good. We could click it. We can always go back. How do I click it? Also keep in mind, Laura had 5 positive pregnancy tests before she filed the case, including a test Clayton gave her. The state hasn't claimed those tests were fake. 5 positive tests are enough to give anyone a good faith basis to think they're pregnant. Now, here's the problem. So he's right that if you take a HCG pregnancy test and it comes back positive and you think you're pregnant and you think you know who the father is, then yeah, file your court action. Nobody's saying you shouldn't have filed your court action. The problem is once you filed your court action, it's up to you. It's your responsibility, Miss Owens, to bring sufficient evidence of clinical pregnancy and paternity. And if there's a miscarriage, clinical evidence of a miscarriage. You failed on all 3 of those counts. That's the fundamental problem. Now, of course, the reason they're saying this tweet didn't age well is this criminal investigation with these indictments by the county attorney's office appears to be turning up the evidence that Laura was ordering illicit HCG from somewhere. Now, if she was ordering illicit HCG, it might explain how she tested positive for blood and urine HCG tests with these tests. So that's not a good look at this point. Okay, let's go back. Oh, it worked. We went back. Amazing. Okay, it's Monday. It's Monday, guys. We don't know what we're doing. Law Fan Girly says, thank you, David, for teaching me about the Rule 26, Rule 11 safe harbor. Even if your main argument for the Laura Owens appeal was not grounded in law or fact, it sure was fun. Yeah, I mean, they made a Rule 26 motion. From my reading of the court document, they gave the safe harbor notice. There were at least 10 days in there from their motion of saying, hey, we're going to do Rule 26 and any subsequent motion. But I don't know. I mean, she had the safe harbor and didn't take advantage of it. And even in February, following her motion to dismiss in December, her lawyer was arguing that they could just convert the motion to dismiss into a request for attorney's fees and keep going to the June evidentiary hearing. So his whole thing about how she wanted to walk away doesn't really hold water with me based on the docket. And looking back, especially at the February evidentiary hearing, which apparently was before his time, so he didn't watch it. Too bad for him. Let's see. A beautiful cat for David Gingras from Law Fan Girly. Oh, look at this kitty. What's the kitty doing? I don't know. It's just, it's beautiful. But that's all we have to say about that. Oh, boy. George Costanza is back. Oh, boy. David, thank you, David, for pooping in a bag for Laura. She sent it to Rachel Mitchell. And, of course, this is referring to the news story where somebody used one of these fake poop in a box shipping services to send Rachel Mitchell some poop. I don't know, guys. I'm sort of 50-50. Was it Laura? Was it Lori Vallow? I don't know. Who sent the poop to Rachel Mitchell? I don't know. Maybe we'll never know. Investigation continues. George Costanza says, thank you, David, for being Laura's lawyer. I wouldn't want anyone else to represent her. I wish you could be her criminal lawyer, too. Please reconsider specializing in criminal law. I mean, I don't think he's a family law specialist, so maybe he could do a criminal law case. I mean, there's a first time for everything, right? Why not? George Costanza says, thank you, David, for the motion to compel lunch filing. Oh, the motion to compel lunch. Everybody needs a good lunch. If you're hungry and it's noon, go have lunch. I will take you out for sushi anytime you want. Sorry, Woodnick rejected you. Yeah, I mean, sometimes people just aren't into having lunch with other people. I mean, you gotta take the L sometimes. Oh boy, dear George Costanza continues. Dear at David Gingras, thank you for becoming a YouTuber. You proved to me anyone can do it. I will start a YouTuber channel with Laura's feet photos as my first video. Oh no. Any proceeds will be redirected to JFC Farms. Oh no. Hashtag thank you, David, getting ideas from you, George, the YouTuber. Yeah, this is kind of ironic because this guy's made a bunch of YouTube videos now, and he originally was very harsh on anybody trying to analyze this case by making a YouTube video. And he just sort of said, oh, these YouTubers are scum, and I'm going to sue them into oblivion for making YouTube videos. And then he goes and makes his own YouTube video. Now, of course, if he has anything specific that he has an issue with that's in a YouTube video, give us a URL, give us a timestamp, give us a quote, give us the evidence that refutes the quote, and we'll take a look at it. I mean, it's fine to have dialogue about specific issues, you know. People make mistakes. I was on Megan Fox's channel last night, and I was trying to remember what was going on with the indictments, right? And one of the indictments, you know, I thought it was related to the sister ultrasound. It was really related to the sister belly video. It's possible that count one of the indictments is related to the sister ultrasound, but we just don't know for certain. So we'll have to wait and see where that goes. But, you know, we can always just try to figure things out as we go. But it's just, I think it's a little bit of a double standard to just, in general, lambaste a bunch of YouTubers and then go make YouTube videos. That's just, it's not a good look. The optics are not good. Hey Bales here says, thank you, David, for posting the brown dress, blue bra video. Oh my gosh. Now, as a colorblind moose, I don't know, brown and blue and Laurel and Yanni. I don't know, guys. Bold move after Laura cried revenge porn with D. Niels for sharing a pic that Laura herself had already shared publicly. Beautiful irony. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to put things in a public Dropbox on Reddit and then get mad for Dave Neal for analyzing the video and then not get mad at your own lawyer for analyzing the video, it's a bit of a double standard. We're learning about double standards today. Thank you, David Parody Count says, dear members of the GFC non-cult, please join us in celebrating the journey to Laura's incarceration. Oh my. We'd like to honor a very special person, David S. Jingers Esquire. Please tweet hashtag thank you, David, followed by your most memorable Jingy moment from over the last year. That's very nice. That's why we're here. We're doing the thing. Okay, all the best research says, thank you, David, for teaching us about the marvels of the female body. Oh no. Oh, where's John Mayer when you need him? A body that can simultaneously have a miscarriage in July and be 24 weeks pregnant in November. I mean, that is, it's Schrodinger's twins, guys. It's very simple. It's the magic of subatomic physics. Oh no, I think twins are probably classical mechanical physics, not subatomic physics, unfortunately. So maybe that doesn't work. Karen Carson says, one of my favorite moments was when I asked Jingy to provide the Domino's pizza receipts from Owen's claims of eating Domino's every day for 6 months. But he didn't know what I was talking about. She covered it with vagaries and he blocked me. Thank you, David. Oh my gosh. Domino's pizza for 6 months. I don't know. That sounds like, oh boy. It probably depends on what toppings you get. But to me, that sounds like a good way to get scurvy. I don't know. That's not good. Or jaundice or something. This could be bad. Don't do that, kids. Okay, Nancy SV says, agreed. There's no question that David is an unethical lawyer. Ooh, that's a hot take. He's so bad he got his client Laura indicted on 7 felony counts. Well, I don't think he helped very much in any case. He did his best. Like, that's all we can ask for. Just do your best, sir. Okay, Kurt Mitchell says somebody snuck a selfie of baby Davy's backside at all. Oh, Esquire 45365. Okay, I don't know. What, has he got a tramp stamp? Oh dear, that's trouble. I thought he was supposed to get a tramp stamp of that umbrella guy. What happened? What happened to that? Did that ever happen? I'm disappointed. Tweeter 2030 says, thank you for blindly believing your client and setting her up for perjury charges. Oh no. Guys, it's trouble. Just Jen says, thank you, David. Okay, we saw that. Be better. Okay, we can always try to be better, guys. Says, I hate to provide more bad news for David, but I tried Italian nachos, so we can't really thank David for these. Wait, what? I brought a receipt and want to thank David for the motion to compel this lunch. Oh, wait, do we have it? What's going on here? Be Better has. Oh, this is the Meatball Cafe. That sounds appetizing. The balls are ongoing. Where are the Italian nachos? They got to be here somewhere. Here they are. They're down here. Pasta chips smothered in mozzarella and Asiago cheese sauce and topped with chicken, bacon, sausage, jalapenos, tomato, green onions, and black olives. That sounds good, guys. Did they say they weren't good? Well, they say we can't thank David for these. I guess these weren't invented by him. I don't think he invented them. I think he just ordered them at some restaurant. Maybe he was at a meatball cafe. I don't remember. But I thought he was in Europe. I don't know. I went to Barcelona once, and their version of a cheeseburger and fries was a round plate with a bunch of French fries, and then a hamburger bun on top of the French fries, and then like some shredded cheese on top of the, a delicate pile on top of the hamburger bun. And then I had a fork, and I had to eat that. That was their version of a cheeseburger, and it was good. But it was a little different, guys. Italian nachos, they could be different. Nick Starro says, hey, hashtag thank you, David, for coaching Laura Owens so badly that when opposing counsel blocked her view of you, she didn't know what to say anymore. Yeah, he did a lot of hand-waving stuff during the June 10th trial. Go check that out. Interesting stuff. Oh, boy. Rosalind Duke. Oh, Rosalind Duke has entered the chat. Rosalind Duke says, thank you, David. Welcome to YouTube, Douche Canoe and Pregnancy Faker. Owens v. Eckerd. Okay, very good. Let's see, we've got, and then we've got a Rosalind Duke video there. Go to Rosalind's channel, check her out. She's got a lot of good songs and videos and advertisements and all that good stuff. Okay, what do we got? Just Jen says, not only continuing litigation, but continuing it pro bono. Yeah, he claims that he was paid for the main court action up through the June 10th hearing and the final judgment on that. But he claims he's doing all the appeal work for free. Of course, I don't know. We've never seen any receipts or anything like that. But I mean, I guess if you're doing something for free, there won't be any receipts. But you could still make a receipt and put 0 there. I don't know. Anyway, BS says that man should be disbarred. Oh, geez, coming in hot. What ethical attorney would ever continue litigation knowing his client had lied multiple times? Rachel Mitchell charged her with 7 felonies to start with, and we don't know for a fact there aren't a dozen more they haven't connected the dots on yet. Yeah, you can always add indictments later on. I mean, there's nothing stopping them from doing that. Antiquated is back. Oh, Antiquated has about 9 billion posts. Okay, here we go. We're going to go through them. Let's go fast. Antiquated. Thank you, David, for saying Laura had to cancel all her high-risk doctor appointments because she was ... sick with the lager lurgy. LOL, I mean, why would anyone go to a doctor when you are an epileptic 24 weeks pregnant with twins? When you're sick, yeah, right? She's got a double high-risk pregnancy. And we never saw any fetal heartbeat monitoring. We never saw an OBGYN consistent care. We never saw ultrasounds. We never saw clinical evidence of any miscarriage. We never saw any babies. Where are the babies? Investigation continues. Antiquated says, cookies. We love cookies. That's right. Thank you, David, for letting us know that we are all Greg. Yeah, Jinkris has this weird habit of when somebody makes a sort of inflammatory question on his Twitter page, he just says, it's not like that. And then he calls them Greg. He says, it's not like that, Greg. Thanks for, commenting, Greg. He has no actual proof or evidence that anybody is Greg that he's replying to. It just seems it's either he thinks he has evidence and he won't share it with us, or he's making a false claim with no evidence, which is not good to do, or it's just a verbal pejorative, which is just rude. None of these options are any good. They're not good. It's not a good look. Thank you, David, for Italian nachos. Well, he is the Conor McGregor of litigation. Oh, boy. Maybe. Nancy SV says, no kidding. DSG has seriously helped getting Laura Owens indicted. I wonder if he will testify at her trial to help convict her. Yeah, I think he said he can't be her criminal defense attorney because he might be called as a witness. So there you go. Conflict of interest. That's trouble. Did that really ever stop him before? I don't know. Law Fan Curly says, thank you, David, for giving us Aurora and offering Rachel Juarez a cookie. Here's a cat commemorating both. I tagged you, but I'm blocked. Oh, dear. We don't deserve cats. What's going on? This cat is... Oh, my goodness. What is this cat doing? Leaf peeping on some foodstuffs down here, I guess. That's interesting. Okay, what do we got? You weren't prego. You weren't prego. Oh, boy. Is reposting something? What is this? A little trip down memory lane. Since we have confirmation of the 5-hour raid on the casita at 5:08 a.m. on January 29th, 2025. January 29th, 2025. An interesting date. An interesting date in itself. Remember this date, guys. It's going to be interesting. One day afterwards, David S. Gingras filed his reply brief to the Arizona Court of Appeals and posted a YouTube video discussing it. Oh boy. Yeah, some of these older videos can be fun to watch in hindsight, actually. Going back and looking at them again. Yeah, there we go. What can we do? Some new comments from Laura, medium.com. I'm also inviting Laura to do a video tomorrow to talk about all this, if she is okay. Oh no, the raid may have left her not okay. That's what I'm getting away from that. Salty Veruca says, thank you, David, for being at least as entertaining. No, for being at least an entertaining, angry little elf. Oh dear. Your contributions, an elf. What do elves have to do with anything? Your contributions exposing Laura Owen's criminal behavior are appreciated. Oh, that's nice. Thank you, David G, in advance for the much anticipated meltdown you're going to have after seeing all these posts. I have my popcorn ready. Well, hey, don't kill the messenger. I'm just going through these and taking a look at them and giving my thoughts. My First Amendment protected thoughts. Everybody go, do what you want. Okay, You Weren't Prego says, thank you, David, for your complete lack of understanding of Laura's case. That was before my time. Oh, no. David S. Gingras, first, you've heard of Laura Owen's December RavGen test? In Judge Modest's ruling, she states December 6, 2023, a second RavGen test confirmed the little to no fetal DNA. Yeah, that was in the ruling. That was in the pretrial statements. There were multiple RavGen tests ongoing. All of them came back little to no fetal DNA if they didn't get lost in the weather. So again, I mean, the key thing here, the problem, we never had clinical proof of paternity. That's what you need to do when you go into this case. You do a paternity test and it rules Clayton in or it rules Clayton out. We never got that. Trouble. And if it was because of miscarriage, we don't have clinical proof of miscarriage. So we just, the dearth of evidence is ongoing. It was only days later that Clayton filed for non-paternity. Exactly, because once you get a bunch of RavGen tests that say you're not the father, or they say little to no fetal DNA, they're not proving whether you're the father or not, you have to go file for non-paternity ruling so you can have the judge assert you're not the father, because otherwise people can go off in the public after the case is dismissed and just say, look at this deadbeat dad who got me pregnant, and he never proved he never got me pregnant. So, it's burden shifting. Burden shifting. You make a claim of pregnancy, you walk away and you say, well, it was up to them to prove that I was never pregnant. That's burden shifting. That's not how good debate works. Okay, anyway, let's keep going on. We got a lot of tweets. You Weren't Prego says, thank you, David, for all the joy that is this. Okay, he did this after the hours-long raid. Oh, interesting. So this was his interview with Reality Steve and Rachel Juarez. I'm not going to call it a debate because it doesn't have a formal setup in terms of, you get 5 minutes and then you get 3 minutes to rebut, and there's specific questions each side goes through, and a moderator makes sure the time happens properly and all that jazz. It's more a conversation, which is fine. I just wouldn't call it a debate. In any case, here's a delightful compilation put together by the YouTube channel Echoes from the Tabernacle of Baby Jingy getting his ass handed to him by Rachel Juarez. Yeah, this is a good video. Go check out the Tabernacle channel. They're looking back at some of these things like the body cam videos and analyzing them with everything we know to date. It's really good stuff. Whether it's his condensation, eye rolling, or exasperation when backed into a corner. Yeah. Yeah, it was rough. I mean, there's one point where he says something like, "Look, you got to let me answer the question. You got to let me have time to answer these questions if you want me to be here and stay here." And it's like, they were 50 minutes in, and he talked for like 42 of those 50 minutes. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. The guy's unbelievable. Anyway, Drunk Turtle says, "Don't forget that explaining Laura's innocence to us was like addressing drunk turtles." Yeah, he called everybody following the case drunk space turtles or something like that. I mean, very bizarre stuff. Literary, I suppose. Imagery. Okay. The drunk space turtles, outer space. Is it true? What is this? Jen Thompson. Is it? Oh my gosh. Is it true? Little eggplant bangs. I mean, hangs with other little eggplants. I don't. What the heck is going on? I do love a good eggplant parmesan, I will say. M here says, for helping Laura. Thank you. With hand signals and such to help Laura testify. Judge Mata and Deandra appreciate your assistance. Oh, I bet they did. Oh boy. Jen Thompson says, thank you, David. What a loser. Oh dear. Well, I mean, he lost the paternity case. He lost the appeal. He lost the motion for reconsideration. He lost the motion to compel lunch. He lost other motions. Oh, that's a track record. That's a track record. Oh boy. Jen Thompson says, why do you hang with losers? Oh, they're replying to Mark Randazza. I don't know much about Mark Randazza, but they are replying to him. Then let's see, we've got, who is this? V says, Laura Owens is using funds from Ron Owens' GoFundMe made in bad faith to support Laura's crimes. Thank you, David. Yet we don't know. Here's the thing. So Ron Owens started a GoFundMe, presumably to help with medical costs or medical fees related to his health problems. The problem I have, I guess, I don't know if Laura is using those funds for her own purposes. Maybe, maybe not. My problem is the lack of transparency. If I had a bunch of medical bills, what I would do is I would post the medical bills as proof. And I would have somebody do a GoFundMe on my behalf with those medical bills. And then we'd do the GoFundMe. And then I would pay the medical bills with the proceeds. And then I would have the person post the receipts. So you get to see the bills, do the GoFundMe, and then post the receipts. And then it's transparent and it's accountable. That's adult responsibility. That's adult accountability. And of course, none of that has happened with the Ron Owens GoFundMe so far, which I keep pointing out to our good buddy Rich Lieberman over there on YouTube, but he hasn't replied to any of my comments yet. So we'll see where that goes. But that's what I would do in any case. That's my advice. Let's see what else we got. Seeking Justice says, worth noting, the raid occurred almost 4 months ago. January 29th. Yet David Gingras continued his antics on his social media accounts and platformed his lying client on his YouTube channel. Yeah, I think if you get a search warrant executed on your house and there's an active investigation by a county attorney or district attorney, you might want to stop making videos. I don't know. You might want to stop your PR campaign. I don't know. Just an idea. BS says that man should be disbarred. Oh, I think didn't we see this? What ethical attorney would ever continue litigation knowing his client had lied multiple times? Rachel Mitchell charged her with 7 felonies to start with, and we don't know that there aren't more. Yeah, we've seen that. It's a good point, though. Let's see. V says the Arizona State Bar needs to look into David Gingras ASAP. Thank you, David. BS says, that's in reply to the BS thing we've seen a bunch of times. Okay, Jen Thompson says the hashtag, thank you, David. That's nice. Antiquated is back. Antiquated is so busy here. Thank you, David, for all the hate on Woodnick. Turns out he's the good guy and you're not. Beautiful projection. Oh, dear. Woodnick and his team have written some very good filings. Go check them out. Good stuff there. Antiquated says, thank you, David, for coming after Isabel. Nothing like a midlife spiral to make a young attorney look like a threat. Yeah, I mean, Isabel did a lot of great work on this case. If you go read the financial statements from Woodnick's firm in the case, it looks like she did a lion's share of the work in these filings and motions. And Isabel's done a great job. So thank you, Isabel. Thank you, David, for not filing a motion to declare emotions inadmissible after Deandra decimated Laura and made her cry. Oh, dear. Never cry on the stand. Any lawyer will tell you that. Let's see. BJ's and Burritos is back. Guys. Okay, thank you, David, for being our real non-cult leader. David, we trust. Oh, dear. Yeah, at the start of this case, Miss Owens and David Gingras liked to refer to people following this case as a cult with no evidence of an actual organization, let alone an organization that is compliant with something like the Bite model of authoritarian control. So their use of the word cult was factually inaccurate and at best and disparaging at worst. Very rude. So hopefully they knock that off. In any case, M here says gangrene is the gift that keeps on giving. Oh no. Well, if you get scurvy or jaundice or gangrene, seek medical attention immediately. Not telehealth or telemed or mom doc. Go seek real medical attention, guys. Okay, V says, thank you, David Gingras, for giving the Arizona State Bar one less lawyer to worry about soon. Jeez, maybe we'll see. Nancy SV says, we are thanking David Gingras for all his help in getting Laura Owens indicted. She must be held accountable for the damage she has done. Hashtag thank you, David. There we go. Christine Winkley says, thank you, David, for telling us that Laura Owens used her sister's sonogram to get a restraining order against Clayton. Yeah, that's a big deal. And it's I was surprised the sister's sonogram didn't show up in the list of indictments. I mean, maybe it will. Maybe it'll be part of indictment number 1. We just don't know for sure. Maybe it'll be an indictment they add on later. Maybe they just don't have quite the greatest case for it, or they've just already got enough with the 7 they've filed. Who knows? We will see. Investigation continues. Just Jen says, thank you, David, for letting it slip that the county attorney was running around town subpoenaing things. Yeah, that was probably the wildest moment in this whole Reality Steve, Rachel Juarez, DSG conversation on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Witness 1111 says, what would we have done without David's help? Laughing emoji. I know, right? Let's see. Natalie Fleming and Nancy SV say, thank you, David, for the breadsticks, pond scum, and tramp stamp lawyers. Oh, dear. Nancy SV says, this was huge. David Gingras did a masterful job getting Mike off the sidelines. In response to Just Jen, who says, thank you, David, for provoking Mike enough so that he decided to get involved with the case and submit his laptop to be forensically examined. We learned all kinds of new information that proved more of Laura's lies. Yeah, his laptop was very interesting. We went through the laptop with Schnitzel Ninja and Lauren over on Lauren Nighty's channel. Court of Random Opinion. Go check that out. Those are some good streams. Wild times. Nancy SV says, yes, the magical ovary that was surgically removed but then successfully showed up again. Truly remarkable. Yeah. Very interesting. And, we were talking about it last night on Megan's stream. Megan was saying, hey, when you get into these relationships, if you don't want something crazy like this fake pregnancy scam to happen, you just got to be real careful with your relationships. But before, jumping into bed with someone. But I mean, somebody who wants to manipulate you, if they don't do it with physical intimacy, they may do it with something like cancer. They may do it with something else. You just never know. Somebody that's going to manipulate you due to their mental health issues, it's going to happen one way or the other. So just be on your guard, folks, and do your best. And just have some grace. Try to have some empathy. Try to have some sympathy. But put yourself first and, always be on the lookout. Investigation continues. Seeking Justice says a little trip down memory lane since we have confirmation of the 5-hour raid. Oh, we saw that already. And that was, thank you, David. Reposting that in case you didn't see that. Lauren Nighty has entered the chat. Lauren says, thank you, David, for being so aggressively stupid that you finally made all of this possible. After a decade of her torturing dudes, you helped bring her to justice. Yay, David. And then, of course, Laura has this great video here where she's in the supermarket. Because, Gingras was like, oh, all these people watching the court case are just these, housewives reading tabloids and it's all fake news, which is, I don't know. That's a little insulting. I mean, what's wrong with being a housewife, number one, and what's wrong with reading a tabloid if you want to just have some fun for a hot minute while you're waiting to check out. But the other thing is, not everybody in the community is a housewife. Not everybody's reading tabloids or believing tabloid stories. The whole community actually didn't believe the tabloid story in the Sun, and that's why we're here. So again, he's way off the mark with that one. Oh boy. Tanya T says, thank you, David. I hadn't looked at it that way, but it's true. David helped Laura be charged as much as Judge Mata. Good job. Oh boy. Loud Little Ducky. Loud Little Ducky has good videos over on her channel. Thank you, David, for admitting things Owens never did and allowing her to continue spreading false information so she can officially be the criminal we always knew she was. Uh-oh. Well, she has been indicted on 7 felonies. We will see if she cuts a deal. We will see if she goes to trial. We will see if she is found guilty or not guilty. Time will tell. Natalie Fleming says, thank you, David, for the breadsticks, pond scum, and tramp stamp lawyers. We saw that before. Jen Thompson says, thank you, David, for being an alleged cokehead alcoholic and bringing down the Laura Owens in a way JFC never could. We love you. Wow. I mean, I don't know. Caffeine's a drug. It's legal. I don't know. Alcohol is a drug, but it's legal. Don't do cocaine, kids. Drink Coca-Cola. Marmite says, thank you, David, for my memorable moment when you put Laura on the stand. I watched her dig the huge hole she dug herself in even bigger, and it led to 7 felony charges. Who knew a little twirl up on the stand would lead to 7 felony charges? But here we are. What? Thank you, David. Okay, we've seen all this. Marmite says, what is your most memorable moment? Okay, we've got that. Natalie Fleming is back. Thank you, David, for letting us know that Laura lied when claiming under oath that the boy sonogram wasn't actually hers. Yeah, that was a wild time. I have a whole video on that. The memories. Memories. Floating by like leaves on rain. Okay, anyway. Just Jen says, thank you, David, for provoking Mike. We saw that. Antiquate says, thank you, David, for hashtag yikes. Indeed. Thank you, David, for being Laura's rock. Ooh, the rock has entered the building. Antiquated says, thank you, David, for being so beautiful. As one does. As one does. Oh, boy. Just Jen says, this is a reply. August 16 hospital photos are not winter of 17, like she lied about in her TEDx talk. Yeah, this is why I think the TEDx talk needs to be investigated and potentially removed. Ovarian cancer that did not exist. Removal of an ovary that later reappeared, 5 months of medical and surgical abortions, tons of manipulation by Laura, 0 evidence of abuse. Yeah, exactly. I've met Mike Maricini. He's a teddy bear of a guy. I don't think he would hurt a fly. In any case, Just Jen says, thank you, David, for provoking Mike enough. Okay, we saw that. Nancy SV. Reposting Law Fan Girly. Thank you, David, for saying you'd drop Laura if she lied. Yeah, he never dropped her. Crazy times. 7 grand jury approved felony charges for perjury fraud means she definitely didn't lie, right? Beautiful. It is odd. It's an odd one. He's an odd duck. Quack, quack. Let's see. What do we got? We got some more. We got some links. Ooh, I'm in there. What's happening here? Oh, thank you, David, for assembling the Avengers. Oh, my part of the Avengers? That's nice. Okay, we've got Megan Fox Writer. Yes. Dave Neal. That Umbrella Guy. Legal Vices. Rest in peace. Clayton's Justice. Lethal Lauren 904. Reality Steve. Bruce from Oregon. Rosalind Duke. Law Talk with Mike. Ian Runkle. Never a Truer Word. Lauren Conlon. Victims of Laura Michelle Owens. Laura Owens Lies. And All the Best Research. Lots of great accounts if you want to follow this case. Very good, very good. Okay, what do we got? Danny Maisley says, hashtag thank you, David. Yeah. Indeed, we've seen these retweets. Nancy SV says, we are thanking David for all his help in getting Laura Owens indicted. She must be held accountable for the damage she's done. Very good. Haybale says, thank you for confusing where Laura went to Planned Parenthood so much that she remembered the real location during the trial. Yeah, so she basically entered evidence on the stand saying she had gone to a Los Angeles Planned Parenthood on a Sunday without ever disclosing that previously. I mean, who does that? That's wild stuff. Anyway, that's why a grand jury has indicted her on 7 felony charges. Oh dear. Nancy SV, thank you, David. Danny Maisley, this will be fun to watch. Okay, so she's excited to, I guess, see this video. I don't know what's going on. Hey. We've seen that. Be Better is here. Thank you, David, for introducing me to your friend Mark, who is an actual First Amendment lawyer. Oh, that must be Mark Randazza. Okay, very good. Lauren Knighty says, I'm still red in the face from that. Replying to BJ's and Burritos, who says, thank you, David, for giving Leith Lauren 904 the opportunity to say, he, look at me, daddy, and making us all pee our pants laughing with her. Yeah, he put that in a court filing. I mean, that's not... I mean, you can, but should you? That's the real question, right? Oh boy. Danny says, for repeatedly saying how many HCG tests Laura had, 5, to prove her pregnancy. I mean, first of all, look, HCG tests don't prove pregnancy. They're an indicator of pregnancy. They're not clinical proof of pregnancy. And I think his point is more like, an HCG pregnancy test, even if it's an indicator of pregnancy, might lead someone to believe they are pregnant. The problem is all of the failure that followed in terms of not getting clinical evidence that would be required for a court action. That's the real problem here, not the original HCG tests. Of course, if those HCG tests were positive because of illicitly purchasing HCG from some sort of gray market internet courier, that's a whole other can of burrito beans. Oh boy. Investigation continues. BJ's and Burritos, thank you, David, for making fun of a mother of an autistic child. And I'm not talking about Jan. Yeah, that was very early on when he entered the Twitter conversation on this case. He was very rude to one of the participants in the conversation who had an autistic child. That was just one of his very rude moments during this case. He's had quite a few. I don't know what the deal is. I personally think he needs to seek some therapy to try and figure out why he's so rude on the internet and to nip it in the bud. But that's just my advice on that one. BJ's and Burritos says, thank you, David, for making fun of the mother of an autistic child. We've got that, and I'm not talking about Jan. Referring, of course, to Laura Owens' latest Medium blogs, where she claims to have been diagnosed with autism in spite of not providing a clinical diagnosis or evidence of a clinical diagnosis. There's a thing called standards of evidence. We want to see real evidence, not merely claims. Okay. Let's find something else here. Nancy SV says, there is no question that David Gingras helped tremendously to get these indictments across the finish line. It's rare to find such an incompetent lawyer. I don't know. I mean, he has his strategies, and I think they just didn't work. I think he did his best. I think if you're talking about something like ineffective assistance of counsel, I think the bar is pretty high. You'd have to have a lawyer who fails to show up for a hearing, a lawyer who falls asleep in the middle of a hearing. I don't know, a lawyer who's always missing filing deadlines, which in this case, at least, I don't think any filing deadlines were missed. So I think he did his best. I just think his best wasn't good enough. And that's where we are. Let's see. Okay, so we've got the Avengers again. That's great. Oh boy. Okay, so these are all hashtag thank yous. And what's this? Mark Randazza says, I love this. Okay, he loves this. And David says, new motion filed yesterday for 824 on Owens v. Eckerd. I'll probably post a short blog update later this morning. Okay, and this was Motion to compel lunch and for alternative relief. Of course, this was denied. Sometimes, that's what consent is all about. You might want me to go to lunch with you, but if I don't consent, that's my right. You can't force me to go to lunch. Consent is a thing. But anyway, Mark loves the motion to compel lunch. There it is. Go read that for some LOLs. Okay, thank you, David. Parody account says, let the record show that David did not fuck anything up. Oh dear. Mark says, people who practice in this area are actually kind of rare. There's a lot of people who think they do or think they can, and then they fuck it all up. And of course, he's talking about the First Amendment, or internet law specifically, in terms of being an internet lawyer with a focus on the First Amendment. Okay, Mark says, that's what we just read. He also says David should be teaching classes on Section 230. Interesting. That would be interesting. Number 2, if he thinks something isn't Section 230, it damn well isn't. Well, you have to prove it. You can't just have an opinion. Opinions don't prove things. Evidence and ruling out a hypothesis and performing the scientific method, that is what proves things. In any case, I digress. David said, this is an old one. This is back in March. This is when he first joined the case. I used Edit Wiki. Got banned because I tried to stop a troll from vandalizing an important page. Did you know Wiki has a rule that you cannot make legal threats against other editors, even if they post false, defamatory stuff? Oh, dear. I don't know. At this point, anything he says about something that happened, like, oh, some troll was doing, I don't know. He calls random people off the street, cult members. So when he calls someone a troll, he has no credibility, guys, because here's the thing, trust. Trust is hard to earn and it's easy to lose. And for me, he's lost it all. He's lost it all very rapidly. And it's very tough to get that trust back. In any case, thank you, David reposted. If she was injecting herself with HCG, May 23rd, 2024. If she was injecting herself with HCG, she easily could have given too much. How do you know? What? She easily could have given too much? What? And rather than a 102 test result, the result could have been 15 trillion, a medically impossible number. Why do you say that? She easily could have given too much. This is speculation. There's no... I don't know. She could have jumped on one leg 3 times in a row. Who knows? What are we talking about? She could have been abducted by aliens who injected HCG in her body. Who knows? I care about what happened. I don't care about what might have happened. Oh, what nonsense. Okay, thank you, David. Reposted. This is another May 23rd. See, this is where the trial and Dr. Medchill will help open your eyes. Oh my gosh, guys, did Dr. Medchill help open anybody's eyes? I mean, I think my jaw hit the floor when he started talking about how, genitals would rub together and how guys are like basketball players and they dribble before they shoot. I guess my eyes were pretty open at that point. You think Laura shot herself with HCG? Awesome work, Redditor. I mean, anybody can have a hypothesis. Look, if you're trying to figure out how she's testing positive on these blood and urine HCG tests, you have to look at all the potential possibilities, okay? Shooting yourself with HCG is a potential possibility. Do we know for a fact she did that? Not yet. Is there evidence that she may have purchased some gray market HCG from a courier? It sure seems like it. Oh boy. We'll learn more as we go. Keep an open mind, guys. Now answer this. How did Laura know the exact amount to give herself in order to produce that 102 test result from 10/16/23? I mean, that's a dumb question. She clearly just, if she injected herself and then took a blood HCG test. It's possible that there's some way to sort of calibrate, if she'd done it before and gotten other tests done but didn't publish the results, in order to figure out how to do a test to get an approximate number. Asking how she knew the exact amount to give herself in order to produce a 102. The 102 is the result. It's not a goal. It's a result. It's sort of like asking, how did the rain know how much rain to make to fill a pothole? Like, the pothole is just there and the rain goes into it. If she injected herself with HCG, then she did that, and whatever number she got is what she got. If she had some sort of knowledge from either the instructions that came with the purchase or through trial and error and doing some experiments, then that's a possible way to get in the correct ballpark. But I don't think anybody sat there and said, like, today I'm going to try and get a 102. Let's go about that. That's a little weird. That's a very strange argument. Anyway, we're all the way back in May. I don't know what I'm doing here, guys. He said, also FYI, to rule out this false positive argument, I asked Laura to take a surprise test with zero notice. She freely agreed to do it, zero hesitation. Of course, this is in May 23. This is way after she filed her motion saying she was not now pregnant in December. The time to spring a surprise test on her would have been that day at the end of December when she said she's not now pregnant. Maybe. And even then, there's no proof that, if she had been faking, she would have tested positive. Because who knows when she stopped the injections, if that's what she was doing. So his experiment is kind of bogus. He'd have to be doing surprise tests on her, starting from the original Clayton hookup date all the way through the end of December. And of course, nobody did that. So, this is just goofy. Of course she's going to test negative in May. What the heck? Oh my gosh. That rules out the mystery medical condition causing a false positive. Yeah, I mean, if she tests positive 100% of the time because of a mystery medical condition, then she won't test negative at any point in time. And of course, she herself took a negative test, right after the Clayton hookup before she started taking positive tests. So we already had a negative test. He didn't need to do a negative test at this point. So it's just stupid. But he did it because he probably didn't even remember that first negative test because it was before his time. What trouble. Okay, oh my gosh, we still are back in May. I don't know, should I skip these old May tweets? These things are just goofy. Anyway, he says, awesome, explain to me where the HCG came from. How about a courier? I don't know. Laura has extensive medical records due to her other health issues, including records from Barrow Neurological Institute. Is he saying brain damage caused her to fake this pregnancy? That's rude. Sir, that's rude. None of these records show any evidence of other sources of HCG in her blood. What does that even mean? Like, you don't take a blood HCG test and it's like, well, this HCG came from Walmart and then somebody else's HCG came from Target. Like, what is he arguing here? This is absurd. Also, if she has all these other health issues, like epilepsy, she's having twins, she has brain damage, this is like a double or triple high-risk pregnancy. Why didn't she get a consistent OBGYN? Why didn't she get clinical proof of pregnancy? Why didn't she get clinical proof of a miscarriage if it happened? Why didn't she ever get proof of paternity? Absurdity, guys. Let's see, what else does he say here on May 23rd? Based on the evidence I've seen, that's an easy question. Yes, I personally believe she was pregnant. But you still haven't made a video explaining why. Because of P-stick and blood HCG tests? That's why you believe her? Then you're a gullible fool. You need clinical evidence. You need a higher standard of evidence. You need to be a skeptic, sir. Do you believe the earth is flat? Oh boy. Dr. Medchill says the odds are 99% plus. No, the accuracy of a pregnancy test to detect HCG is 99% plus. That's an indicator of pregnancy. It's not proof that the pregnancy is 99% plus happening. You're confusing the efficacy of the test from a statistical basis with whether someone's pregnant or not, and conflating that with whether they have HCG in their system or not. This is just stupid. You don't take 99.99% efficacy of the mechanics of a test and then say just because the test passed that it means something the test doesn't intend to mean. If that's why you believe she was pregnant, you don't understand chemistry. You don't understand science. You don't understand biology. You failed. This is an anti-science take. This is offensive. This is offensive to science enthusiasts. Oh boy. Now I'm getting fired up. Rachel says, are you saying she was pregnant in this video? I'm confused the reason this video was posted otherwise. Good question. Let's see. Jessica Rose Brady says, that is not the same bump size or shape. Also, you can see she is at the court case. She's wearing a long sleeve shirt under the dress to probably hold whatever she used as a moon bump. See attached photo of her at court. Hope that helps you understand things better. Take care. Yeah, she looked really strange in this Zoom court video. You can go watch it yourself. I don't know what's going on here. Was it a moon bump? I don't know. Who knows? It just seemed very strange to me. It was very odd. In any case, Fenchurch says, don't know if she wore a moon bump. Yeah, but I'm certain she didn't get knocked up by Clayton. I mean, there's no evidence of that. And, you know, the default state of human beings is not pregnant. So if you claim you're pregnant and then you want to claim you're pregnant by Clayton, you have to provide sufficient evidence, none of which we saw. Okay, liar, liar, pants on fires. Oh, dear. Do you have a way of explaining the faked ultrasound video that Laura admitted to sending Clayton? How about the ultrasound she proffered to media in October? Exactly. Good question. Let's see. Jinger says, again, you're misstating the facts. In October, Laura was still testing positive for pregnancy. Oh, boy. The first time she confirmed she was no longer pregnant was on 11/14/23 at an OBGYN appointment with Mom Doc. Okay. This is all in our expert report, of course. I mean, that's the first time she admittedly confirmed she was no longer pregnant. We don't know what she did behind the scenes. Who knows? Let's see. BS says, LOL, bahahaha, welcome to hell. It's getting hot in here. Since you like to quote song lyrics so much. Oh dear. Oh my. That's a hot take. Reality Steve and another one. So, okay. So we've got a whole bunch of clips of him making crazy statements that Reality Steve is pointing out. Greatest hits. So you can go watch those. I'm not going to play those with audio here. We need to get moving, guys. We're over an hour. We need to get moving. We need to keep this to like a 90-minute video if we can. Okay. Are we getting near the end? Reality Steve, in closing, the ruling by the Arizona Court of Appeals was the right one and one that 99% of the people covering this case knew would happen, except for you. Good riddance, and don't try to bother to explain yourself unless you're going to tell us how that crow tastes. Oh my gosh, Reality Steve coming in hot. Reality Steve says the Dave Neal part of this is not an exaggeration. Gingras spent months calling him names, threatening lawsuits, and shitting on him for his YouTube channel, focusing on this case so much that Gingras started his own YouTube channel talking about this case. Yeah, the double standards are ongoing. Also, he was very rude, you know. I think he needs to apologize to Dave Neal. He needs to apologize to Dave Neal's family. He needs to seek therapy. And then maybe I will have some trust in this guy again. Reality Steve says your incessant whining, petulant, childlike behavior, and single white female attraction to Dave Neal is all kind of hilarious to look back on now, as the appeals court judges just told you to go sit in the corner for a timeout, hopefully forever. Bam! Oh my gosh, how can Reality Steve top it? He has so many tweets, guys. We have so many Reality Steve tweets. They're fire. There's nothing he can say now that changes his despicable behavior towards Dave Neal, the JFC crew, or anyone who even had a dissenting opinion on this case. There was no way he was losing the appeal. Yeah, he said no way in hell. And then later in the same video, he said, maybe we'll win, maybe we'll lose. Which is it? I mean, this guy doesn't know how to focus on the integrity of his word. Is it no way in hell, or is it maybe you'll win, maybe you'll lose? Be consistent. Oh my gosh, consistency is not his forte. Judge Mata will be taken off the bench. How'd that go for you? Yeah, Judge Mata is still doing the work. Reality Steve says, I had 4 conversations with Dave Gingras back in November and December. Never contentious, but what I learned in these conversations is nothing you say to him matters when he has his own narrative in his head. Sounds kind of familiar right now, doesn't it? Humble yourself, bud. I don't think it's possible. Reality Steve says he'll put out a video or a blog post and find some needle in the haystack about how this trial was unfair. The JFC crew is a cult. He knows the law, yada, yada, yada. All trying to distract you from the fact he got his ass handed to him, something we all knew was coming. Oh boy. Reality Steve continues. This is just going to go on all day, guys. Did you read the appeals court denial? It was a complete smackdown of everything Gingras said he'd win on. Rule 26, Gingras called all of us idiots for not knowing the law. They basically told him, no, you don't know shit, arguing a point for months that didn't apply. Oh my gosh. And what do you know? He went private last night because he knows all of his bloviating and blabbering over the last 3 months came back to bite him in the ass. Oh, I'm sure he'll come back on and make excuses. He always does, but it won't mean shit. Whew. This is the thread about David Gingras, the lawyer for Laura Owens. He lost big time in every way possible, even though he was the big bad wolf on his YouTube channel talking about this case the last few months. He turned out to be nothing more than a Timu Dave Neal. Bang! That puts a bow on it right there. Oh my gosh, amazing. That umbrella guy has entered the chat. Laura Owens is being indicted for false allegations and more. She faked pregnancy while going after Clayton Echard, faked medical proof, and got a protective order to boot. And I think that protective order was granted on the basis of some more fraud. Actually, now that we mention it, thanks for bringing that up. David, what gives? I thought you said this wasn't happening. Are you fired yet? Oh my gosh. Tug coming in hot. Oh boy. Let's see. Reality Steve. Rachel Juarez from TV's Hot Bench on why Laura Owens' lawyer defending her so staunchly is surprising to her. Yeah, I can point to a bunch of people whose life depends on his help, whose custody of their children depends on his help. If this is really what you're trying to do, pick someone worthy of your help. Yeah, he's doing this pro bono appeals case because he thinks Laura deserves the help and it's a worthy cause. And she's just pointing out there's probably more worthy causes out there that he could help with than this one, especially after, this is especially prescient after we've seen these 7 indictments, right? And you know, for me, I don't know if this is the strongest argument. I always watch for the fallacy of relative privation. You know, just because one thing is a bigger problem than another thing doesn't mean the second thing isn't still a problem. There's 8 billion people on the planet. We can all work on different problems and prioritize within our own sphere or domain. But I think she does have a point that if his argument is that he's going pro se because it's a worthy cause, don't these criminal indictments belie that cause a little bit. Just maybe. Karen Carson says, yay, Clayton, Greg, and Mike can avoid getting mail from Laura Owens when you finally prosecute her. Please do so quickly before she plays some other more heinous games. Karen continues, Laura Owens on LinkedIn is CEO of several businesses, principal owner on one. Her personal info does not match her new claims of her family being broke. Yeah, she owes Clayton Echard and Clayton's lawyers close to $200,000. It's time to pay up. BS Translator says Laura Owens has officially been indicted. And we've got the Office gift there. That's a good one. Thank you, David. Reposted Bianca Buono, who broke the news of the indictments, I believe. Bianca Buono down there in Maricopa County with the hot news, and then that was forwarded to me by our good friend Hey Rob. Clayton Echard case update. I meant to share this earlier, but I asked Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell for an update on our office's investigation. Here's her response, and she said, stay tuned. And then, of course, after that, we had the indictments. So we were staying tuned, and it was worth it. Very good. Loud Little Ducky says, amazing she can afford these because she's getting ready and entering these aren't cheap. I think they're talking about horse riding competitions plus travel if they're out of town. Yeah, how's she spending money on all her horse hobbies if she owes Clayton and Clayton's lawyers $200,000? Very suspicious, guys. Never a truer word. Our good friend Jack Fox says, Laura Owens' response to being hit with 70 felony charges in a way only Laura Owens can. Entitled, scheming, naive, oblivious. What do you think? And so he goes over her quote-unquote press release, which is a good video. We went over that. I think I made a video on that and went over it. That press release, I read through it and did my own commentary on that. Check that out. That's a separate video I have here on my channel. And of course, Jack's videos. Thank you, David says, beautiful. And this is, of course, a May 4th video from David S. Gingras. Step 1, invent crazy lie. She wore a fake moon bump in court. Step 2, spread lie as widely as possible. So, yeah, I mean, the moon bump hypothesis is interesting. Who knows what this video is about? I don't know. It's very weird. A large abdomen is not proof that somebody didn't also wear another prosthetic, and it's not proof that somebody is pregnant. So I don't know what he thinks he's proving here with these videos, but they're just sort of creepy and disturbing. And if I was somebody's lawyer, I would not post videos like this. I think it's inappropriate. Anyway, and then he says, of course, get paid for clicks, views. People accept the lie as fact. No, people accept things as facts when there's sufficient evidence. Okay, and we know she appeared in court on Zoom looking very suspicious. Okay, so people are drawing their own conclusions. Okay, we don't know if this video is real because we don't have the original video to look at the metadata and all that jazz. This video could have been altered again, as they seem to imply in the 7 indictments that we currently have. So how'd that work out for you? Also, this idea of throwing people under the bus just because they have like Google AdSense enabled on their channel means their argument is wrong. That's just fallacious reasoning. Like, if there's one channel that has AdSense turned on and they say 1 + 1 = 2, are they wrong? If there's another channel that doesn't have any AdSense and they say 1 + 1 = 3, are they right? No, you still have to do the math. The getting paid for clicks and views is orthogonal. It's a red herring. It's irrelevant. Unless you find evidence that somebody was paid to lie on purpose, and you can prove it with actual evidence that there was some payoff happening. You know, if my friend Nick pays me $1,000 to get on YouTube and say something that's false, and you have evidence of that, that would be interesting. But of course he has no evidence. He just has wild speculation and wild claims and wild insults for everybody following the case that doesn't agree with him, which is basically everyone. Okay, and then he says, again, here he does this thing. He says, Greg, it's a video, bro. He calls everyone Greg with no evidence. It's just rude. It's rude at worst. And it's just bad evidence at best. Every member of Laura's family would come to court and testify, yep, we saw her belly getting huge just like the video shows. No, I don't want to see Laura's family come to court and testify that. I want to see like the person that regularly cut her hair or did her manicure, or someone who saw her every month at a horse show. Get that random person that she interacted with every month or so during this case to come to court and testify. That's what I want to see. Does that person exist? Maybe. We'll see. Investigation continues. I know you want to believe a lie that the earth is flat. That's cool, but it's round, just like Laura's belly was. I mean, a large abdomen doesn't prove pregnancy. That's the problem. You can go do the Eratosthenes well experiment and prove that the earth is round and it's not flat. You haven't given us the equivalent of the Eratosthenes well experiment to prove clinical pregnancy and to prove paternity. That's the disconnect. That's the disconnect. He says, if Clayton wants to sue Laura for wearing a fake belly, he can certainly try. This exhibit will make it mighty difficult. Yeah, I think this is one of these exhibits on the left that's in the indictments. Oh my gosh. Also, as a lawyer, should you be posting these photos? These are concerning photos, dude. Like, if somebody's appearance is swinging like this, I mean, it really indicates some sort of health problems. This is just, you're not helping your client, sir. You're not helping your client. He says here in December, oh boy, the Gregness of this response. What is this? 1,000,000%. Does he understand what 1,000,000% means? 100,000,000% means a million things. Like 100,000,000% means there's a million literal responses. So unless there's a million responses, you know, or whatever the number is here with a million divided by 100, he doesn't understand how math works. It's just useless rhetoric. Oh, it's terrible. And again, he's calling everybody Greg. Why? It's just insulting. He's just being rude. Great analysis, Greg. Your family must be so proud of you. He's just being poop emoji. He's just being rude. Why does this guy have to be so rude? It's disappointing. It's disappointing. It's disappointing. FYI, I think Lauren is a very sad, confused person. He's talking about Lauren Knighty, our good friend Lauren over on Court of Random Opinion. But I 100%, oh, okay, so he's finally getting fractions down. I 100% support her right to speak. Okay, so even though much of what she says is wrong, then prove it's wrong, sir. Give me a URL, give me a timestamp, give me the quote, and then prove it's wrong. You never do it. You never, ever, ever, ever do it. You've said that about Dave Neal. You've said that about Omar. You've said that about Lauren. Prove it to me. I'm sitting here waiting to be convinced. Prove it. Don't say it. Do it. And no, I never thought the Redditor was her. That's the point of a subpoena, to learn the user's identity. He's going around harassing random Redditors who are analyzing his videos and his court filings. He did try to get videos of Lauren's taken down or her channel stricken or threaten her with lawsuits. He's just rude. He's a rude bully. That's bullying and intimidation. Where I worked, bullying and intimidation was cause to be dismissed by your manager. If I had an employee who was a bully going around intimidating other employees, I would walk them out the front door and take their badge. 100%. I actually worked with someone who, in a meeting, was very bullying and intimidating and rude to another employee. The guy who was being rude, bullying, and intimidating was not my employee. But if he had been my employee, I would have walked him out of the building right after that meeting or in the middle of that meeting. If David S. Gingras was my employee, I would walk him out the building and take his badge. Yep, 100%. 100%. David says, leave it to the lawyers. No, these are public court cases. We're allowed to watch public court cases as members of the public. I'm a DIY plumber, but when the pipes clog and back up, I call the professionals. Well, none of us are litigants in this case. Of course, the litigants in this case are going to get real lawyers. Same rules here. The legal stuff is not for civilians. Look, anybody, oh my gosh, you don't need to be a plumber to go look at some busted up plumbing and say this plumbing is busted up. This argument is just so dumb and bogus. It's gatekeepy. It's just so, makes my skin crawl. Ugh, I need to go take a shower to wash the filth off my skin from reading his old tweets. Why am I doing this, guys? Clients often become friends. My former client, Nick, is one of my closest friends for 15 plus years. I don't know, man. I mean, I had a lawyer on retainer for a while and we did some legal work. I don't know, he's a nice enough guy, but I don't want to be friends with him. I just want him to be my lawyer. This is weird. We had dinner in Paris on his birthday. Nice flex, bro. That wasn't as his lawyer. Neither was anything I did on the podcast. This guy's he's just braggadocious. I mean, being a braggart is not as convincing as good, solid evidence. Then he says, Jesus, you guys are confused. Try to see the bigger picture. It's not that hard. No, we need to see real, compelling evidence that's convincing. That's what we need to see. We don't just take your word for it because you're, exasperated on Twitter. So I'll continue waiting for you to point to a single fact that I've knowingly lied about during this case. I don't know. I don't know if he lied. Who cares? Bet $1,000 you can't name one thing. Who wants to bet on anything? I mean, who cares? He's the lawyer. It's not about whether he lied. It's about what his client did or failed to do. Failing to provide sufficient evidence. That's the problem. Let's see. All good questions, but due to Rachel Mitchell's investigation, those are questions I can't answer for now. Oh boy. I hope I can answer them someday, not just not today. Well, maybe after the indictments are prosecuted and we get a guilty or not guilty verdict. How about that? Maybe then you can answer some more questions. But that has nothing to do with me lying about facts. Can we just agree I haven't lied? Prove me wrong. Yeah, proving somebody lied is actually very difficult because you have to differentiate it from being wrong, making just a mistake, saying do instead of don't, and it's just a slip of the tongue. Speculating, having an opinion, bullshitting about something a little bit, because you think you're right. Lying requires somebody to actually try to deceive the other person while knowing they're giving the wrong information. That's hard to prove. That's very hard to prove. That's why whenever he says Omar lied, Dave lied, Lauren lied, Megan Fox lied, I want him to prove it because the standard's very high. He's right. The standard's high. And he never does. He never does. He just makes the claim. It's disappointing. Never looked at Reddit regarding this case. 100% accurate statement at the time I posted that. Jesus FC. X's character limit requires posts to be short. You can't explain everything. This is what he calls a PR campaign. Just getting all worked up on Twitter. This is not good PR, sir. This is not good PR. I should probably just figure out how to live stream, eh? Still learning over here. I mean, the problem is if you start making YouTube videos, somebody might throw you under the bus for being vile human scum for trying to make YouTube videos. I don't know. It's a risk. It's a risk. I'm not dismissing anything, just trying to show the story isn't as one-sided as JFC claims. Well, Miss Owens has 7 felony indictments and Mr. Eckert doesn't. How one-sided is that? As for the guys you mentioned, based on what I know, they only got the wrath they asked for or deserved. Oh, so now he's throwing Mike and Greg under the bus. That's really rude. Laura tried to end this fight with Clayton a year ago. He chose to keep it going. That's not true. Go watch the February hearing, sir. Go watch the February hearing. He's just wrong. All I can say is don't assume they are providing accurate info in their brief. Okay, that's fine. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, but mine hasn't changed. This is an easy win for us. Oh, how'd that opinion work out? Oh my gosh, guys. At worst, we may have a second trial with a new judge. Oh, he got that right. They're going to have a second trial with a new judge. It's just going to be in criminal court for 7 felony indictments. He finally got something right, guys. He finally got something right. I can't believe this. This is going to be a 2-hour video. This is crazy. This is amazing. This is amazing. If we win, and if I still have a license, and assuming no other info comes out to change my mind, then absolutely yes. Oh boy, so a few contingencies to clear, but it's a solid maybe. Oh boy. How's that going for you, sir? FYI to the person who just prank called Laura pretending to be the police. Bad timing. How do you know it wasn't the police? What? Laura is having dinner with me and a group of friends tonight. Oh, is this where they shared the plate? Yeah, I don't like plate sharing. You're welcome to call my cell and prank me instead. Oh, he gives his phone number. Don't call him, guys. Don't call this guy, guys. Don't call anybody. Just make some nachos. Watch YouTube. Don't call anyone. But remember, impersonating the cops is a crime. Very good. Is ordering gray market HCG from a courier a crime? I don't know. Maybe somebody can help me out with answering that question. Then he said, what is he saying here? LOL, no, the terms of my appellate work have been disclosed. If we win, the court may order Clayton to pay my fees. I will likely ask for $100,000, but the actual amount is up to the court. If we lose, or if the court doesn't award fees, I will get $0 and no dinner. Fine with me. No dinner? Oh, dude, don't skip dinner on our behalf. I I mean, take yourself out to dinner, sir. I mean, you've done a busy day's work on this case. You deserve a dinner. Let's see. Laura's getting healthier. Thanks for asking. She ate the exact same as everyone else. What? Everybody at the table ate the same thing? That's weird. Shared 2 entrees plus multiple appetizers and sides. It was a table of 8 people and all food was served family style. Okay, family style. Good times. Like a buffet, maybe, I guess. I don't know. I mean, well, if there's multiple dishes, then you could theoretically eat, you could skip one of the dishes and eat more of another dish, and then you wouldn't be eating the exact same thing as anybody else. So, I don't know. If the portions aren't measured exactly equally, I think it can't be the exact same. But I digress. Good times, 0 drama. That's nice. Police interaction was limited and friendly. Were they really the police? He said they were fake police, and now he says they were police. I don't get it. He says, so yes, I did have a nice friendly call with the lawyer for the podcast lady. Okay, so I think he's talking about PS Creative here. The contents of the call will not be described unless the podcast lady gives an inaccurate version of the facts. She has a name, sir. The podcast lady. What? Oh my gosh. How rude. Let's see. He says he's replying to Bears fan XO. Go, Peck, go. Of course not. Civil disputes are never criminal. Duh. It's a good thing we have criminal charges now, isn't it? Oh no. It's like Laura asking the cops to arrest the podcast lady for acting like a complete psycho, which IMHO she is. That's so rude. Stop calling people psycho. That's rude. The cops will not, unfortunately, arrest people for just being idiots because it's not a crime. You know what is a crime? 7 felony indictments. Oh my gosh, guys. Let's see. January 16th. Stop being a dramatic child. Oh no. This is replying to Rachel Mitchell, in addition to some other people. Oh my gosh. Why is he dragging her into this? If you go to a restaurant, order something, and you're not happy with the food, and you refuse to pay, that is not a fraudulent scheme. Isn't it? I think it's called dine and dash. I think the cops can get you for that. Is he dining and dashing, guys? What's going on here? It's a simple contract dispute, not a crime. Oh, wait, so when high school kids do it, it's dine and dash. But when lawyers do it, it's just a contract dispute. I get it. I get it now. It makes sense. Okay. Even when you end up being wrong. Oh my gosh. That's amazing. This guy, the hubris. And no, I have 0 concerns about the podcast lady's complaint. Her sad, silly complaint. What? What's with the adjectives? Does not implicate any ethical misconduct, at least on my part. Oh, so it does implicate ethical misconduct on your client's part? Oh, wow. Way to throw your client under the bus. Let's see. Okay, so he says, beautiful. Oh, dear. Not a good look, sir. Let's see. Prank call. Laura put me on the phone. I asked the caller to tell me who they were and where they were calling from. The caller, a female, responded, I am not at liberty to say. The truth is GFC is a cult of such obvious psycho assholes. It's kind of easy to spot them. So I don't know who called them on the phone, but I don't know why he doesn't just say the caller. He lumps, let's say there was a prank caller making a prank phone call. He lumps the prank caller in with this label he's created, JFC, and then he makes a new label, a cult, and he attaches it to JFC. This is called generalizing. And this is a way to dehumanize your opponent, say, in a PR action or a court action. And it's a linguistic microaggression he uses to dehumanize his opponents so he can tear them down with rhetoric rather than with actual good evidence. So when you see him do this, you have to always be on the lookout for these red flags, because that's really what he's doing here. There's actually no cult. A cult is an organization that would be something like compliant with the BITE model of authoritarian control. You would have to go through a whole exercise like Dr. Stephen Hassan does, and explain how the organization you're talking about is consistent with the bite model, none of which he or his client has done, ever. Big sigh. Women have abortions and miscarriages every day without ever getting a sonogram. Maybe, but they don't have open paternity court cases at the time, do they? Why is that such a point of obsession for JFC? Because she filed a court action and then failed to follow up with clinical proof of pregnancy, clinical proof of miscarriage, proof of paternity. That's why it's such a big deal, sir. It's not very complicated. The lack of a sonogram does not prove the lack of pregnancy. Okay, but you failed to prove clinical pregnancy. Yes, somebody can go have a feral pregnancy in the woods. That's up to their discretion. But the minute you start a court action, you need to finish it with good evidence. And that's what didn't happen in this case. Yes, I know Laura's Planned Parenthood story is problematic. Okay, yeah, for sure. Let's see. LOL, nice attempt to rewrite history. Oh, trout, clout, uh-oh. That's not what I said. It was always undisputed that Laura lied about the sonogram being done at Smile. Oh, okay. So he's admitting to her fraud here. Oh, okay. So that's good. So that's in the indictments. That'll get covered in the criminal case. She admitted that before I was involved. Okay, good. So the fraud was ongoing. Okay, good to know. What I said was I'd withdraw if Laura lied to me during the case. Oh, this is what's called moving the goalposts. And that hasn't happened. Oh, boy. Okay, that's fine. Whatever you want. Great, but I was not referring to things like the Smile sonogram. It was undisputed the sonogram was a lie in the sense it wasn't created at Smile. I was referring to the things Laura said to me about the case, and to date she hasn't lied about anything that you know of, sir. Oh dear. Investigation continues. Good old JFC, the kings of straw man arguments. Oh, what straw man argument are we talking about? Who said Laura's pregnancy was 1, healthy, and 2, lasted a full 6 months? Well, I think when she kept going to court to get an order of protection saying she was 100% pregnant and she saw the doctor last Friday, she was saying it was healthy and over a full 6 months. So that was your client, sir. We know it wasn't a healthy pregnancy. Well, that's your claim. There's no clinical evidence of miscarriage. There's no clinical evidence of a health problem in this pregnancy. So we don't know that, do we? And it probably failed at less than 3 months. How can you claim to know something and then follow it up in the exact same sentence with probably? This is not how epistemology works. She just didn't know that until it was confirmed much later. Give me a break. This is called post hoc rationalization. Okay, if Laura committed perjury, that is something she will have to answer for. Just like Martha Stewart. Snoop Dogg is about to enter the chat. Call Mary Lincoln's. And nearly everyone who worked in the first Trump administration. What? Why has he always got to bring Trump into everything? He's like one of these people, you know. You can go on these news stories when news stories have comments sections, and like it'll be like, scientists figure out how to grow carrots hydroponically in vats or something. And someone in the comments section will be like, Obama's going to ruin the carrot industry, or Bush is going to wreck it all. Or like, what does that have to do with anything? What does Trump have to do with anything? It's just stupid. Make your point about the actual evidence in the case. Don't make all these dumb analogies. They're useless. Get them out of here. All who break the law, including Mara, are accountable. Yeah, exactly. And then you get grand jury criminal indictments. And let's see, who has a grand jury criminal indictment right now? Judge Mata? No. Clayton Eckert? No. Clayton's lawyers? No. Oh, Dave Neal? No. Laura Owens? Yes. Oh, okay. Very good. But that doesn't justify a legally wrong $150,000 judgment. Well, you lost your appeal on that, and now we're almost at $200,000, sir. Keep racking up that bill. Just keep racking it up. Some new comments from Laura. We got a medium.com link. Oh, boy. This is bad PR. Get your client to write Medium blogs and then post about it on Twitter. It's just terrible PR. I'm also inviting Laura to do a video tomorrow. Oh, that's bad PR too. That's just, no, sir, don't do that. Why is it so difficult to just be honest? If you think someone's not honest, you have to prove it. Every person has broken the speed limit. Have they? I think people who've never driven a motor vehicle, like a lot of people under the age of 16 or 15 and a half or whatever, have never driven a car. So they've never broken the speed limit. What is this every? This is just rhetoric. Everyone, including me and you. No. What about a little baby? A tiny baby? Tiny baby? Little Jimmy? Little Jimmy broke the speed limit? I don't think so, sir. Don't throw little Jimmy under the bus. I mean, why did he get under the bus? Was he breaking the speed limit in his Ferrari? Damn it, little Jimmy, you're only 6 months old. Stop breaking the speed limit. What a nut job. When caught, an adult takes ownership. No big deal. Exactly. If you file a court action and you fail to bring clinical evidence of pregnancy, you fail to bring clinical evidence of miscarriage, you fail to bring evidence of paternity that will convince everyone, you should take ownership and pay the bill. If you do, you might not end up with 7 criminal indictments. Just saying. Refusal to pay a judgment when you don't have the money is not unlawful. You know that, right? Where's the $450,000 she said she had in a checking account or money market account and showed it to Clayton? Where's the $450,000? Where is it? Where'd it go? Inquiring minds want to know. I'm certainly not engaging as much in the past, but if you tweet at me, should I not respond? Why tag me then? Anyway, saying the account is not run by Greg is not the same thing as saying Greg isn't the person tweeting this, so thanks for confirming yourself, Greg. What? He calls everybody Greg and doesn't have any evidence. Still annoying. Still annoying. He says, I'm in my 50s and I've lost 20 pounds since then, going for the next fit 20. What does that have to do with anything? Is he on the HCG diet? Maybe he knows where to get the gray market HCG. I don't know. Well, I concede reconsideration is rarely granted. And it wasn't. Oh, that didn't turn out well, did it? This is a good sign for Laura. No, it's not, sir. The appellate ruling contains gross errors. No, it doesn't. Semicolon. Oh, semicolons. I don't like them. Literally citing cases for the opposite of what they held. Okay. Let's see if that works for you. So we shall see. It ain't over yet, and more options exist if this fails. Okay, good luck. One last thing. I've decided against seeking reconsideration until that rage bait convo with Rachel Juarez last week. This blows my mind, guys. This blows my mind. He doesn't want to seek reconsideration. Then he talks to Rachel Juarez and decides he does. Why does talking to Rachel Juarez convince you to seek reconsideration? You either have good legal arguments or you don't. If Rachel Juarez has convinced you have good legal arguments, are you going to cut her a check for her consultation fee? Justice for Rachel. Oh my gosh. She needs a cut of she needs a cut of something. I guess if he's not getting paid, 20% of zero is zero. Worthless. I guess you get what you pay for. Oh my gosh, guys. I understand this argument, but what other choice does Laura have? Concede to a judgment she feels is 100% wrong? Her case is very similar to Kilmar Albrego Garcia. KAG. The case is really about due process and the rule of law, not whether you like KAG as a person. Same here. He's really comparing Laura's case to a case about due process. He's comparing a paternity case where there was plenty of due process to a case where there was potentially no due process and somebody was deported to one of these torture prisons. His client is living it up, rent-free in a guest house in Arizona, hanging out by the pool, and he's comparing it to a case of a guy who got deported to a torture prison. What an asshole. I mean, come on. I'm not into name calling or whatever in general, but that's just a dick move. Oh my gosh. Legal fees, both statements are true. Laura paid me. Yeah, we saw that already. He got paid and then he's doing the appeal work for free. That's the whole thing. She wasn't that far along. This is part of the BS JFC wants people to think. What does JFC want them to think? Because an early miscarriage makes sense for Laura's side, while a far along one does not. Well, there's no proof of an early miscarriage. Where's the proof? I don't believe there was a far along miscarriage either. I haven't seen proof of any miscarriage. The miscarriage was probably less than 10 weeks. Based on what? It was not far along. Where's the proof? This guy's crazy. Some comments about Lauren's indictment. Okay, and then he's got a new blog post. Oh boy. Hey, minor fraud fans, can someone help me out? A little bird tells me that if you view Woodnick's fee app with Acrobat, it shows the document contains a fake date, 12/11/2023, which was added allegedly by Clayton on 7/8/24, the date of the filing. Ooh, arts and crafts. I don't know. What is he talking about here? There's e-signatures and dating things. And, I don't know, man. What is he talking about? If there's a mistake, the clerk of court will, address it to get it fixed. What's his problem? I don't understand. He's just being weird. What does he say? News ruling just received from Fisk. Okay, so this was the judge overseeing his post-ruling motions from Judge Mata. After the Mata ruling, he did some post-ruling motions, and Judge Fisk, the superior judge, reviewed them. Summary, Clayton wins. Again, yawn. Why is he yawn? He's trying to linguistically separate or downplay the win. Like, why? It's an emotional response. Basically, Fisk admits Mata's ruling contains findings that were not based on the evidence, but then says this isn't necessarily proof that Mata broke the rules. Yeah, I mean, if there's an immaterial error in a ruling, like if you demand perfection from every single judicial ruling, like no typos, no immaterial errors, no mistakes. If you demand 100% perfection, I think you're going to drag the judicial court system to a halt. It's not reasonable. It's not reasonable, guys. But I'm the bad guy because something I filed contained an attached email from Woodnick which showed the name of an old ex-boyfriend. Yeah, because he didn't want his name and address unredacted, and you put something on the internet unredacted. That's a dick move. It's not about whether it's legal or not. It's about whether it's, polite or not. If that person's privacy was important, why did Woodnick object to Laura's request to keep anything confidential? Okay, you're conflating two things. You've got a person who's not a litigant in this case, who doesn't want their name and address included unredacted in a public court document or in the public space, and you're comparing that to a litigant's information related to the case, the public court case. These are two different things. You cannot conflate the two. They're different. Anyway, that's the answer to the question. These are different sets of information. The context is different. That's the answer. So recap, Laura asked for confidentiality. Clayton not only opposed this, he asked for sanctions because Laura had the temerity to make the request. The court sided with Clayton and refused to allow anything to be designated confidential because that's what Clayton wanted. Yeah, I mean, you don't want anything material to the case to be designated confidential as an entire document. That doesn't mean you can't go in and redact specific things as you do your filings. So just because your court case docket is going to be public, it doesn't mean you can't go in there and redact certain things. Oh my gosh. It's not an all or nothing situation. This guy is unreasonable. Again, I already gave the bar my full written responses to both complaints. Oh yeah. Thanks for reminding us that this guy has multiple pending bar complaints out, including one from a judge. Investigation continues. This was done on 8/7, the same day the complaints were sent to me. The response to Dean's was 70 pages. HW 58 pages. I have no intention of providing free content for YouTubers. So I'm not sharing this. Why are you doing a PR campaign then? If you don't want to give anyone free content. Oh, what a mistake. Busy week. Did I miss anything? Seriously, folks, all good here. I'm aware of the big news this week. Just chill. She's fine. I'm fine. Don't pop any corks yet or count your chickens. Well, I have 4 chickens. And I am down to pop a cork after I finish this video, which is going to be super long. I may have to break it into 2 parts. I think that's what I'm going to do. They don't always hatch. Oh, now this guy's mansplaining chicken babies to us? Really? And sometimes the tables turn. How the turntables? In ways you didn't expect. Yeah, I didn't expect 7 felony indictments. He's right on that. It's weird the people who are the most obsessed with destroying Laura for lying are also obsessed with spreading lies about her. What lies? Prove it. We've been through the standards of evidence in terms of proving a lie. He's never done it. Also, what does it mean to destroy someone? Holding someone accountable or demanding a certain standard of evidence is not destroying someone. I mean, he acts like somebody who's murdering someone, and he's like, stop trying to destroy me by demanding I stop murdering people. What a nut job. This case is a masterclass in the terrifying power of cults. Okay, there's no cult. A cult is an organization consistent with the Bite model of authoritarian control. Where's the organization, number one? And once you've established what that organization is, where's the Bite model control assessment of that organization? You haven't done either of these things. Failure. Laura is not in Paris. She's home in Arizona. Oh my gosh. I think somebody thought she might be in Paris. I don't know. Weird. And also, how is thinking she might be in Paris destroying her life? Oh no. Hey guys, I think Bruce might be in Saskatchewan. Oh no, my life's being destroyed. What? What the heck, guys? She was describing what the fake costume pic was attempting to show, quote, our son, not what it actually showed. What? A copy of Laura's sister's sonogram that Clayton had. Oh no! This is the sister sonogram, guys. We thought it might be her sister's. That was speculation, but he confirmed it here. It's Laura's sister's sonogram. She used it in an OOP hearing to convince the aged judge, Judge Duty, that Clayton had created a Halloween costume meme, which somebody on Reddit admitted they made. Clayton didn't even make it because that photo was in the public Dropbox on Reddit. It's trouble, guys. It's trouble. But Judge Duty didn't understand the internet. And Clayton's evidence was ignored in favor of the nice young lady with the large abdomen. Thanks, Judge Duty. Oh boy. Did every GFC remember flunk high school English class? Maybe he makes a typo in a sentence complaining about people flunking English class. Isn't it ironic? Just a bit. Anyway. 100% true. Laura has admitted she panicked when her name got out, and she photoshopped that 102,000 HCG test, which she sent to bloggers in an effort to quiet them down. Yet nothing like a bunch of fake medical evidence to try and get news reporters to stop reporting on a case. Can you imagine if Dan Rather was out there reporting on something, investigative journalism, and somebody sent him a faked medical document to try and get him to shut up? Can you imagine? Is that a good thing to do? He says, I'm sorry she did that. Yeah, you should be. But I can't blame her for how she defended herself in a storm. You can't? I can. She shouldn't have done that. Don't lie. Don't send people on YouTube, don't send reporters fake evidence. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Jeez, it's not that hard. She took a test Clayton provided to her unannounced right in front of him. So what? Clayton admitted in writing the test was positive. So what? HCG tests are an indicator of pregnancy, not clinical proof of pregnancy. So what? As Ministry says. He took a freaking picture of it and emailed it to her. So what? Tell me how that isn't objective proof, because HCG tests are indicators of pregnancy, not proof of pregnancy. They're proof you have HCG in your system. That's all they are. Clayton believed it was, as he should. He was questioning, how could she be pregnant? Did she do the turkey baster? He's a young guy in a confusing situation. Of course he was confused. Have some grace. If Laura knew she was never pregnant, why would she have filed this case? That is exactly like getting wasted than going out of your way to drive to the police station and demanding a breath test. By filing the case, Laura exposed herself to being tested, which she asked for. Yeah, I mean, you can't explain it other than if you look at other cases of people who seem to have these cluster B personality disorders, they just carry on with their claims. Lori and Chad Daybell are sitting in prison, still claiming they were wrongfully convicted, when all of the evidence clearly shows that they did bad things and then just went on their merry way and wouldn't talk about the bad things. And they still claim that there's a whole other story that explains it. And what do we have now? A press release from Miss Owens with a whole other story that explains it. And she's going to fight it to the end. Just like Lori Vallow Daybell and Chad Daybell. Exactly. People tell on themselves, sir. They do eventually, because they can't. They would rather sit in prison than face the reality of what they've done and talk to a therapist and review their emotions. They would rather rot in prison than do that. There are people like that, sir. We've seen them before. We may see them again. We'll see. I didn't want to do this, but today's LO versus CE development needs some explanation. You wrote another blog. That's great. Again, I will ignore my better judgment and leave comments open. Okay, that's great. Fair comments are fine. Hate will be blocked and we'll turn comments off. Ooh. No hate. Okay, that's fine. To all those threatening bar complaints against me for my comments this week, please read this case. Oh, he's just trying to defend himself for being rude. There's no defense for being rude, sir. Just apologize. Get some therapy. Instead, without giving me that courtesy, the judge accused me falsely of misconduct. Well, you're free to defend yourself, I suppose. To me, it felt and feels like she was mocking my disability. Well, feelings are not a valid pathway to the truth. Evidence is. Do you have a disability? Where's your clinical proof? Has the provider published it? Can we independently confirm it? Did you ask for accommodations about your disability prior to the June 10th hearing? Or is this just more post hoc rationalization? I don't know. If you think that made me angry, you're right. Yeah, because we're talking about your feelings, right? We're not talking about facts. We're talking about your feelings. I get it. I get it. Judges should treat all people with more respect and courtesy than this. Yeah, because if a judge doesn't approve all your motions and rule in your favor, they must be biased against you, right? Sounds familiar. Sounds like Lori Daybell's last argument. Surprisingly similar to this case. One final thing, I have poor hearing as a result of an injury when I was young. Okay. I struggled to hear. When Mata accused me of trying to coach Laura trial, what exactly happened was I couldn't hear Laura. Okay, that's fine. I mean, again, this sounds like post hoc rationalization to me because we didn't know about any of this going into the hearing. And he hasn't provided any clinical proof of this hearing injury. In any case, remember, kids, trust is hard to earn, easy to lose. He's lost it. He's lost the trust. I'm sorry. By being rude, he's lost trust. By losing all his motions and his case in an appeal and motion for reconsideration, he's lost his trust. Filed today. Woodnick response. Notably, it doesn't dispute the judge's conduct, just says the notice was untimely. This cites the wrong rule, doesn't explain how he could have raised the misconduct before it happened. CE is 100% wrong on this, no further comment. Well, he won the appeal. How'd that go? How'd that go? No public statements from our side. Legit media can email questions privately. What is the scientific test to determine if an arbitrary human is legit media or not? Is it just up to your whims when you read the email? What is the scientific test for legit media? How do I find an arbitrary person on the street and determine if they're legit media or not? This guy doesn't think with a procedural mind, with a logical mind. It's just disappointing. Let's see, my final blog post. Oh, June 19th, 2024. Certainly did not turn out to be his final blog post. Oh boy, going swimming now. Okay, maybe he can beat Omar and Lauren in the swimming competition. I don't know. Good golly. Miss Molly, despite what you may think, I really do try to take the high road. When he's being rude? Really, I do. Seriously, but I'll go ahead and take a walk on the other side once. First $50 Venmo donation gets the ruling. Oh, so basically, here's the way. Court documents in Maricopa go onto the docket, and then somebody has to go to the courthouse and get a paper copy, scan it, and upload it to the internet for people to read. And this is fine. This is the way court access works. I like it. It's good. That's okay. If they put it on the internet for people to download PDFs with a few bucks, that's good too. I like that too. Public access for all. That's the way it should work. He says he has early access to this document from the docket, and he's going to auction it off for a $50 donation that'll get donated to charity that he claims. He claims he'll donate it to charity. I mean, maybe he will. This is not right. Just let the court document access system behave as it is, sir. Stop trying to short circuit it for your PR campaign. It's just, that's not the high road. This is the opposite of the high road. Oh man. This really is a walk down memory lane, you know. Is the ruling really not public? It should be available online. Maybe I should emulate CE's fans and beg for super chat tips to post it. That's not how that works. YouTubers don't have super chats and then they release the court document. Somebody who lives there or people that live there can go to the courthouse in their free time out of their own curiosity, get the documents, and then upload them to the internet. It's very nice of them to do that. It's not the YouTubers who have super... He doesn't even understand how this works. He doesn't even understand how it works. Oh my gosh, guys. Judge Mata just issued an under advisement order. Good. It's 11:36 a.m. Thursday morning. That's very precise. Really nice being so many hours ahead of Arizona. Was this when he was in Italy eating Italian nachos? Maybe. As my website traffic returns to zero and I fly off to Europe for some well-earned rest with good friends and family. Some closing comments about today. Oh, he's writing more blogs. Love's always stronger than hate. Choose love. I mean, this guy came out of the corner swinging. I don't think he ever chose love. Oh boy. 3 days without tweeting. Not bad for me. Dude. Oh, PR campaign was a bad idea, sir. Bad idea. Okay, what is this? What is this? June 7th, 2024. Okay, was this before the trial? If anyone attends in person, feel free to say hello slowly with hands visible at any time. I mean, that's kind of funny in hindsight, given that he had a gun in his car that he waved around in one of his YouTube videos. Ridiculous. Just finished reading Clayton's trial exhibits. Okay. Nothing new here. Okay. Well, that's good. At least Clayton's consistent. With 60 minutes per side, that works out to about 3 seconds per page. Yeah, I mean, this hearing was not long enough. That's for sure. That's for sure. Folks, if you have 0 followers and your X account was created in May or June, I'm auto blocking you if you comment. Well, there are people following the case, and when this guy took over and started doing PR on Twitter specifically, I'm sure a lot of people following the case created accounts because of his PR campaign. And he's like, well, I'm just going to block them. That's not how a good PR campaign operates, sir. You want to grow the audience, not alienate it. Oh, the alienation is ongoing. The alienation is ongoing. Busy day with lots of filings. How'd those work out? Pretrial statement, request for findings of fact and conclusions of law. Oh, no. Clayton also filed a pretrial. Haven't read this yet. Oh, yeah, Clayton's pretrial statement. The one that somebody who went to the court hearing printed out and gave to the person who claimed to be Judge Mata's father. Yeah, I have a whole video on that, too. You can go watch that. And see what my source had to say about all that. Let's see. Cheers to justice for all, except for, nah, screw that. Nachos just arrived. This is important. Okay, we've got the Italian nachos. We love them. It's Friday. To anyone saying, don't engage with Gingras, my reply, thank you. I have plans this weekend. Those plans have nothing to do with work. The less engagement I see on Twitter, the happier I am. Says somebody who started his own PR campaign. Like... You can't start a PR campaign and then say, I'm happy when people don't do engagement. Oh, just because you obsessed. Who's you? Doesn't mean I do. Who's obsessive? Like he does this again. It's one of these vagaries. Who's you? I don't know. He doesn't list any names. There's no way to independently verify his claims. It's disappointing. I'm going to read the LOCE ruling later, but in the meantime, if anyone has these AI nudes of me, I'm curious to see if they're any good. It's honestly pretty funny. I'm not on Discord, so I'm never going to see them. Feel free to email me. Oh, this was hilarious. So in the Dave Neal fan Discord, there was a special thread channel for spicy AI photos because people had realized they could create AI photos for artwork. And then somebody wanted to see how spicy the AI photos could be. And so they made sort of these romance novel cover photos that had partial nudity and then put them in that special channel so they weren't, putting the spiciness in the rest of the Discord. And of course, none of these nudes were of actual people. They didn't portray anybody from real life. I mean, if they had, the mods would have deleted them. I'm a mod. I would have deleted them. In any case, somebody, I guess, emailed him from Proton Mail. Gosh, I wonder who could have emailed him from Proton Mail and said that there were nudes of him in a courtroom. There weren't any pictures in a courtroom with a half-naked brunette. I mean, this photo never existed. And saying there was, oral arguments. I don't know. All the bestest. No, none of that happened. It's all a red herring. It was entertaining, to say the least. Entertaining. Memory lane, guys. While I was out of town, family graduation, I got 2 LO-related emails. One from Megan Fox, the other from Megan Fox Transformer, which I posted blocked out. I'm told there's speculation who sent the second email. Look at the headers and draw your own conclusions. I don't know. If you have 2 emails from 2 different accounts, I don't know what to tell you. Is that this? I don't know. Is that the thing about the nudes? I don't know. Who cares? People just don't seem to understand. If you accuse someone of doing something illegal, you could end up having to prove what you said was true. Okay, that's fine. Speculation, and I saw it online, isn't admissible in court. That's fine too. Okay, good. Let's see. So he's just making more threats on the internet. What a great PR campaign. Threatening the audience. What a good strategy. My comments on today's new evidence in the Owens v. Eckert case. If you think there's credible, admissible proof of Laura lying about past pregnancies with Mike Maricini, you just failed the bar exam. Whoa, I think the laptop that he submitted for a forensic investigation would say otherwise, sir. Oh dear. How'd that work out? This is going to require a full blog post to explain, but certain bloggers are already publishing more lies about Laura, so I'll just share this without full context. Oh no, there can never be enough context, guys. I'll tell you that. I'll explain later why I am HO. This guarantees a win for Laura. Oh, his opinions are so bad. They just never turn out to be right, do they? Oh my gosh, what is this? And then he posts a deposition with Maricini, which is rude, and probably got... this is probably what spurred Mike on to get his laptop forensically examined. So good job, sir. Your PR campaign did a bang-up job. Oh boy. Yeah. Little confused. The rules say lawyers must talk to each other. That's not optional. This guy's mad because nobody wants to talk to him. Maybe it's because you're a jerk, sir. Stop being a jerk and maybe more people will want to talk to you. That's my advice. My adverse counsel refuses to talk, so I asked the court to make him follow the rule, and the judge says no. Oh. Not sure if this is worth a special action, but maybe. Oh. Motion to compel lunch. Oh, we all love a good motion to compel lunch. Lunch is not, you can't force someone to eat. I mean, there's consent. Oh boy. Anyway, I don't consent. I don't consent to these Italian nachos. Just filed 5 minutes ago. Expert reports from both sides and exhibits. Clayton's is 9 pages. Ours is 125 pages. If anyone wants a link, go hug your dog and stop obsessing over this stuff. I mean, people following a court case. Why does he call it obsession? He should be trying to have a dialogue and convince people of his point of view. Instead, he just says, if you disagree with me, I'm going to insult you. That's his PR strategy. That's not a good PR strategy. Oh my gosh. Also, on the stand June 9th, this is funny, his expert medical witness did not disagree with Clayton's medical expert witness, Dr. Dean's. He was just mystified as to why anybody would want proof of clinical pregnancy as a standard of evidence, because he's never considered fraud as a potential alternative option. But guess what? Now we have 7 indictments, including that fraud, sir. What do you think about that, Dr. Medchill? Dr. Medchill, if you want to talk about this case, my DMs are open. I would love to talk to Dr. Medchill a little bit more about pregnancy, miscarriages, paternity, and the difference between indicators and clinical proof when it comes to pregnancy. I would love to do it. If you're out there, sir, I would love to do an interview. Okay, anyway, let's see. People blinded by anger won't agree with this. Blinded by anger. So this is an appeal to emotion. This is a fallacy. Won't agree with this, but it's true. Laura Owens is not Harvey Weinstein. I mean, who said she was Harvey Weinstein? Like, those are two separate individuals. Based on the law of identity, non-contradiction, and excluded middle, Laura Owens is not equal to Harvey Weinstein. Like, that's just logic. What the heck? Who said they were? But the same legal rule applies in both cases. Okay, that's fine. Maybe you have to prove it. You can't convict in one case by citing evidence from cases 2, 3, and 4. Only a non-lawyer would think otherwise. Well, you can get a judgment for attorney's fees based on a bad faith court action by looking at a pattern of behavior. I think that's what happened in this case, actually. Oh my gosh, good golly. Miss Molly. Small update re Owens v. Eckert. I'm not blogging any further about this case for now. Good thing you put that caveat in there in parentheses. Oh my gosh. Reason, my investigation is now complete. Oh gosh. Investigation does not continue for David S. Gingras. Mine does, though. I'm drafting 2 new motions that will be filed this week, hopefully Wednesday. I said the truth will come out in the end. That's coming this week. Oh boy. Amazing. Owens v. Eckert update. Did you ever hear of vanishing twin syndrome? Oh no. Guys, vanishing twins have entered the chat. Where'd the twins go? They vanished. Where'd the boy-girl twins go? Oh, they vanished. There's no clinical proof. There's no medical provider with proof of twins, but they vanished. Guys, I can't take it, guys. Vanishing twin syndrome. You know who actually had vanishing twin syndrome? The woman where Laura Owens ripped off her sonogram image to try to convince Greg or Clayton that she was pregnant with twins. That's who actually had vanishing twin syndrome. How do you think she feels about this whole mess? Pretty fucking bad, I would imagine. Having her emotional trauma reused for fraud that's, now being brought to light with 7 felony indictments. How about that for vanishing twin syndrome, sir? How about that? If you're following Owens v. Eckerd, you've seen people demanding justice for Clayton. But what does justice look like for someone wrongfully sued for paternity? She should have to pay the legal fees. And now she has a bill close to $200,000. So I think that's what it looks like. Oh, it also looks like 7 criminal indictments from a grand jury. I know the answer because it happened to me. No kidding. Full story here. Yeah, I mean, he had some crazy paternity action when he was a youth with some lady who had a baby, and they took an actual paternity test, and there was paternity determination. You know what we don't have in the Owens v. Eckerd case? Paternity determination. Makes it slightly different, sir. Not the same. Not the answer. A different answer. Because the context is different. There can never be too much context. What else do we got? Laura has paid me. No issues there. I will do this pro bono if I have to. Turns out he did, I guess, or wanted to. I don't know. As for collection, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Laura is in a position where collection may be impossible. Where'd the $450,000 go, sir? Where did the $450,000 go? Thus, a bond really doesn't mean anything. Just let the process work itself out. Oh, boy. We will. How's that going? It's going great. This is why Laura hasn't posted a bond. She doesn't have a normal W-2 income, so Clayton can't garnish her paycheck. Oh, she doesn't have a normal W-2 income? Because she's too busy just, doing fake pregnancy scams all day? Oh, I see. Makes sense. Clayton can't garnish her paycheck, and her assets are structured in such a way that collection would be difficult, if not impossible. Wow. Do you think they did that on purpose? Hashtag Big Tiff Dog. Oh boy. Thus, no need for a bond. Okay, what else do we got? This one caused some minor controversy. Not sure why. As this person's lawyer, you probably should know why. Oh boy. So this time I'll include a link. Filed 4/12/24. Not going to comment further. Okay, what is this? Reply in support of motion to compel lunch and for alternative relief. Because you're trying to compel lunch with someone. It just looks stupid. It's not funny. I don't know. Buddy. Someone recently complained I was using a certain case for self-promotion. Who? Where's the link? This is just a claim with no evidence. Oh my gosh. This guy doesn't understand standards of evidence. That's not true. You want to talk about a straw man argument? When you make an argument you can't verify and then you argue against it, that's a straw man. I can't independently verify that someone recently complained you were using a certain case for self-promotion because you didn't give the evidence. Independent verification, it's the cornerstone of science, sir. You're not a science enthusiast. It occurs to me a little self-promotion isn't a bad thing. Okay, fine. So somebody complained you were using the case for self-promotion, then own it. Be like, yeah, hell yes I am. Hashtag self-promotion. Hashtag Gingras PR. The best PR in Maricopa County. Maybe. Hashtag maybe. So let me share a story about the time I was a guest. No. How about no? Thanks for the $1. Okay, that was from Dave Neal. Dave Neal Venmoed him $1. When I go to the casino tonight, I'll put it on the roulette wheel and let fortune decide my fate. I wonder what happened with that $1. Also, I don't plan to make further public comments for now. For now. He would comment and uncomment. Oh, the comments are ongoing. The process was helpful, but not very productive. Maybe that's because you're not an honest interlocutor when you're having a discussion with someone. Have you looked at the denominator? Dave Neal's a liar. Megan Fox is a liar. Lauren Knight is a liar. The Reddit user who's analyzing my cases. I want to subpoena them. Omar's dead to me. What's the common denominator here, sir? It's you. These are good people. They're doing their best. And you won't have an honest conversation with them. Rachel Juarez. I mean, the list goes on and on. The common denominator is you, sir. There isn't enough room for meaningful legal analysis on Twitter. Did you think there ever would be? I mean, who starts a PR campaign on Twitter in the first place? That's just a bad decision. So I'm moving my comments about the Clayton Echard case to my blog. Okay, very good. Yeah, should have started there in the first place. Oh my gosh. We're learning as we go, kids. When do we take the training wheels off this PR campaign? I don't know. Good day, fans and cult members. And of course, we've talked about there's no cult. Baseball games have at least 9 innings and mini at-bats. What strike ball hardly ends my game? This guy, oh no. Oh no. If baseball is the analogy, this guy's in the 9th inning. And it's 100-1 against him. Oh, guys. Oh no. Next at bat, new motion. Okay, keep those motions coming, buddy. For those following the saga, I want to report all facts, whether good or bad. Okay, good for you. The court just denied the motion I filed yesterday. This is not good, but it is not case ending. Oh, another motion denial. Litigation's a marathon, not a sprint, and it's never over till it's over. Oh my gosh, man. Do you really think the Arizona Court of Appeals is going to take up this case? Do you really think the U.S. Supreme Court is going to take up this case? It's over, buddy. It's over. There's 7 criminal indictments. It's over. It's all over. Some high school kid just came in this case and he's got a broom and he wants to sweep up the peanuts on the floor. It's over. Not a huge fan of this saying, but apropos, when you assume too quickly, you make an ass out of you and me. That's true. Misinformation and speculation are cancer in the search for truth. That's very literary. So I'm sharing this solely to offer some clarity about what's going on. And he shares a motion. Like, just let people get these motions off the docket, sir. Like, that's where they're supposed... You don't need to share it to... Like, what? You don't need to... Just let people get the motions off the docket. That's what we want to do. Just stop short-circuiting it. That's not PR. I have a feeling some people may have questions for me today. Nothing new about that. Let me be clear. I try cases in court, not in public. Wait. You're her lawyer and her PR agent, but you're not trying the case in public? What? Because the ethical rules mandate this? What? April 2nd, 2020. Where have we been? What? Guys, I've lost all critical perspective. I'm falling over. I'm the tilted moose, guys. He doesn't want to try the case in public? Your YouTube channel with a bunch of videos refutes that claim. What a yahoo. Oh my gosh, guys. Jennifer Gravitz says, all while you ignore the perjury of your client. Shake my head. Robert Taylor says, yes, she made misstatements, one of which was to the court. Just paraphrasing your previous statements to the court about your client. Indeed. Okay. Jay Hip. Oh, our good friend Just Jay. I see. She passed stuff and never bothered to visit the doctor. Very normal. Yeah, this happens to me every day, Jay. You too, I'm sure. Anyone with credibility issues would do the same. Then have a growing pregnancy that continues into November, according to court records on YouTube. Exactly. But yeah, the truth, please. Shrug emoji. Good call. Man, I think Just Jay is currently blocked by David Gingras. David Gingras, please unblock Just Jay. Just Jay just wants to chat. He's a good guy. Let's see. Shana Ash says, does it say human hand? Perhaps he meant the size of a small poodle's hand. At any rate, it doesn't change the substance of the argument. Yeah, this is when Gingras was complaining that Woodnick put hand-sized in a court filing, and I think Laura, or quote, hand-sized, and Laura said, she said a larger sentence, like smaller than hand-sized, or something like this. The problem is that none of these things are quantitative. They're all qualitative, because if you have a newborn or a premature newborn, their hand size is very, very, very small. If you have Shaquille O'Neal at the height of his NBA career, his hand is very, very big. That is a very large range of mathematical measurements that we can do. So whether we say hand size, smaller than hand size, about hand size, these are all qualitative. They're not quantitative. So nitpicking on a bunch of different qualitative statements is useless. The Woodnick quote was a subset of the quote of the petitioner Owens, so it seems reasonable to me to include a subset quote in a filing, especially when it's a qualitative assessment, not a quantitative assessment. Of course, DSG doesn't seem to understand any of this because he is not a science enthusiast. In my deduction, what if we held petitioners to the same standards? What if no one is allowed to lie to the courts? Oh my goodness, Gingras, I think we're onto something. This is Robert voted in 24. Yeah, Robert is onto something here, I think. Let's see, Victim Advocate says, David, you know as a lawyer you cannot testify through the motion as an expert witness. You have no written report from an expert witness and you are not qualified to make these claims. Rule 42.3.3. Oh my goodness. He's in big trouble, guys. Let's see. Hear Me Out says, this is a joke, right? When you send an image with a text, it shows up above the message on the sender screen, not in between. This is so simple. Look. Okay, so now we're talking about some text messages. Good times. Let's see. Pegster says, short-sighted. If Laura is referred for criminal charges, all her devices will be seized. And the scope of her tampering and fraud on the court will be revealed. Guys, I think Pegster's a member of the Psychic Friends Network. Oh no, somebody called Dionne Warwick. I didn't think this was heading towards criminal charges, but since you've entered the case, I've changed my mind. Damn. This might be the best tweet on this page. Thank you, Pegster. Oh my goodness, that one's a good one. Darnia says, funny thing, he argues if there is a legitimate question about a piece of evidence, it should be excluded unless the original is produced. By this logic, Laura's belly video, sack photos, text, and any digital evidence should be excluded because they never turned over her actual phone. Well, you know who got her actual phone? Maricopa County attorney investigators. So there we go. Darnius, we finally have the real phones. What can we do? Marg K says, hands visible? Don't flatter yourself. No one cares enough about you to bother doing anything but use you as fodder for bad lawyer jokes. Wow, Marg coming in hot. Geriatrics says, I wonder what is in the text that is so important and damning to your client that you would file something this stupid to avoid it being entered into evidence. Laura's credibility is 0, and yours has now entered the negative zone. Good job, DG. Oh, no. Laughing emoji. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine what's on these devices that these investigators presumably obtained and cell-brighted up? Guys, I don't even want to think about it. There's got to be some crazy stuff on there. Let's see. The fact that he allowed his client to submit fake evidence is wild when it is glaringly noticeable. She manufactured the evidence. DSG, you're no expert, and the fact you didn't notice what your client did in the screenshot is wild. Yeah, I mean, these things happen. Sometimes, maybe, at least they did here. Oh boy. Dawn says, all the best, all the best, all the very best. Yep, indeed. Carol says, is the text that is only partially shown in the new document word for word what the metadata shows? Because it very clearly implies a document is attached somewhere in the conversation. And why would she need a teammate for not having ovarian cancer? Investigation continues. Let's see. Nathan says, LO will, of course, surrender her phone for analysis because only the original counts, right? Yeah. Well, it seems like that's happened. Oh boy, here we are. LESB says, is this the internet version of Punked? Oh, I think it is. Patty at the Disco says, I'm just a law nerd watching the filings, so I won't be there. I won't be having coffee. I won't be saying hi or any of that. Okay, so this is about the June 10th hearing. I would like to know why you want to exclude respondent witnesses that were submitted on time, but you also want this late evidence submitted. Great question, Patty at the Disco. I mean, if you stopped by, we did have cold brew and we had scones and breadsticks. So it was a good time. It was a very nice, calm, quiet time. No circus needed. Holly says your client has been lying, at least for the last decade of her life, about awful things. Take your legal hat off for 10 minutes and really think about what she's been doing. Then if you have a shred of decency in you, you'll tell her it's time to give up the charade. Okay, very good. Darnia says, this is just dumb. Laura can go into her iPhone and delete a message she sent and then take a screenshot and say, see, it's not there. Given her admissions to tampering with sonograms and HCG reports, this is more likely than the forensic expert being in a conspiracy with Clayton. Correct. Very good. Thank you, Darnius. Tish says, is Laura going to offer her phone and laptop to an expert to disprove these statements? Well, not voluntarily. Oh, boy. Natalie Fleming says, only 2 problems with your pretrial amended filing. Asking anyone to rely on Laura's word for anything, or asking anyone to rely on screenshots submitted by Laura. Your client, by her own words in previous filings, Laura has credibility issues, edited sonograms, and minor misstatements. Yeah, trust is hard to earn, easy to lose. Laura has lost all of her trust as well, as we've seen throughout this case. Rebecca Simmons says, are you suggesting there's equal likelihood of Laura deleting her message and a forensic expert and lawyer conspiring with Clayton to falsify evidence, threatening to end their respective careers of over 20 years each? Interesting equivalency. Mysterious. Yeah, I mean, if you have lawyers who go out and do subpoenas and get evidence and then vet the evidence from providers, and if you have forensic experts that go through laptops and phones, you can't conflate that to a litigant just saying, here's some screenshots I printed out on my Epson printer. These aren't the same thing. AZ Techie, good old AZ Techie, says, there are a few things I agree with in this document. Here's one. Laura lied in her affidavit. AZ Techie, keeping it concise. J-Hip again, are you concerned about your client's perjury? Misstatements, as you put it, and it affecting the judge's decision, as she has shown little regard for being under oath and lying to judges over and over and over again. Good question. Apparently the answer to that is no. That's where we are today. Let's see. CM Law says, FYI, I took this screenshot about 20 to 30 minutes ago. Note the date and time. iPhones let you choose any date and time. You should be smarter than your client. It's not August 16th, 2016, nor was it 8:15 a.m. Okay, very good. Yeah, because this person, okay, so this tweet was from June 8th, 2024, and they basically provided a screenshot from August 13th, 2016, and the dates do not match, so that's nice. Okay, all right, so that's very good. Robert Voted says she discovered messages that supposedly didn't exist and she could not provide when asked previously. Yeah, I bet being unwilling to engage in discovery for 7 months and having no doctor visits until well into the case, then not handing over her phone will work out swimmingly. Clown emoji. Ooh, prescient. A prescient prediction there. Taraturi says, this is funny. The judge will laugh at this like every other thing you've submitted on behalf of your client. CO only lied about submitting I think, do they mean Clayton Eckerd? CO only lied about submitting a real estate deal from a weird woman who gave him something, oral arguments, and then the ick after only knowing her 72 hours. Completely different lies. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the real estate deals were very material to the case. Let's see, Robert voted, said, why would anyone believe the gold standard in forensic software versus a screenshot from Laura's phone 3 days before trial? Exactly, Robert. Is it the phone she was unwilling to hand over, or the one she got rid of and said those messages were irretrievable? I hope she sues you after this. Uh-oh. Well, the litigation is ongoing. Numbers are cool says your client found a screenshot from years ago but can't find the original of the Planned Parenthood sonogram. Yeah, no Planned Parenthood provider has ever sent a verified ultrasound from Planned Parenthood to Team Woodnick. Let's keep that in mind. Debbie Laws clips house elf. What? What are you doing to house elves, Debbie? Oh, wait, Dobby Laws. What? Dobby Laws? Clips house. What is happening here? Is this English? These are certainly all words. Isn't wearing a fake belly and claiming to be 24 weeks pregnant when to know you're not pregnant perjury? Aren't depositions made under penalty of perjury? Oh no, the perjury is ongoing. Irish Devil 93. Shouldn't you be advising her to preserve evidence such as the fake baby belly and the Monster Energy Amazon subscription? Oh no, I need a Monster Energy drink right now, guys. This is the longest video I've ever made. Desert Witch says no one is going to prosecute a witness for showing up to a lawful subpoena. MM didn't have the intent to harm, wasn't summoned to court for the purpose of violating the court order, and he certainly didn't commit an act against Laura. What's with the strange posturing? Exactly. Justice for Mike. Irish Devil 93 says, so that mean Laura can be charged for the crime she committed before she moved to Arizona? We'll see. Oh boy. I'm hoping for those federal mail fraud charges for Chase J. Jones. Fingers crossed. 7 of 88 says it's not really a good look when your lawyer admits you're a liar, whether it's under oath or not. A liar's a liar. There you go. Joe says, so what you're saying is that Arizona and California have cases against her? Question mark. Guess we need to start writing letters to the prosecutors in California too. Thanks for the tip. Just the tip. We'll see. Jay says, thanks for following the law as always. Could you imagine if someone committed perjury on the stand? That would be so wrong, right? I'm glad we're on the same page. Jay is standing up for justice, guys. CM Law says she committed perjury and evidence tampering in 3 separate Arizona court hearings. Didn't you know? Oh boy. Maybe it was before his time. Fenchurch says, who's doing that? I hadn't realized the prosecutor already brought charges for that happened out of Arizona, no less. Or is this comment regarding some other case altogether? The cases are ongoing. BJ's and Burritos. Oh, BJ's and Burritos. Maybe they'll refer it to one of Laura's favorite organizations, the FBI. And of course, we know the FBI called in one of those wellness checks after Laura tried to get the Cybercrimes Division to go stop Dave Neal from making YouTube videos. Wild stuff, guys. Wild stuff. Shananana Nash says she committed perjury and is being investigated. The DA is not limited by what Mata recommended. That's true. They could bring criminal charges of domestic violence, harassment, and fraud. Indeed, 7 indictments so far. Nathan says, I don't think Judge Mata ever said that lie was minor. Only Laura said it was minor. She's not the judge. She did try to direct traffic up on the stand quite a bit on June 10th. If you go watch the hearing, it's very interesting. She's trying to control what she can control. Fenchurch says, she said under oath it was her sonogram. That is perjury. She used it as an exhibit. Where the judge found that her lie about seeing Dr. Higley was minor. Also, while a family law judge may see one thing as being minor, the DA may find it prosecutable. There's no res judicata. Oh, it's too Monday for me to get into Latin, guys. It's way too Monday for that. Jillian says, hope you didn't block me because I enjoy talking to you, but do you have thoughts on Laura's accusation that Woodnick drugged, ARPed, and left her for dead. Is that investigation ongoing? How does she feel seeing him in court? This seems to be something not discussed much. Good question, Jillian. I don't think we'll ever get an answer on that one. Mel MC says they're not limited to what she's done in this case, so I'd be getting her off the internet. Yeah, good advice. She's just further incriminating herself with all this nonsense she's spouting in medium.com. Also, the ad hominem calling us all a cult, real mature eye roll emoji. Thank you, Mel. Fenchurch says you have rules, no lies, no half-truth. This was filed with the court under oath. There we have the ghost sonogram in a court document. Okay. Fenchurch says, come on. If someone tries to pass a bad check, they don't get off the hook just because the bank didn't fall for it. Just because her fraud and perjury didn't fool the judge doesn't mean she didn't commit the crime and there was damages to society and my vocal cords. Okay, we're going to keep going. I don't know how much longer we have, but there is a lot here, guys. Taraturi says your client committed perjury in the state of Arizona. She altered medical documents in the state of Arizona. She failed to hand over evidence she was compelled to in the state of Arizona. We all knew she didn't go to Planned Parenthood anywhere, so I don't see how this will help her. At least there's no Planned Parenthood that ever sent a verified sonogram to Team Woodnick. So that's where I stand. The dearth of evidence. M says, well, the justice system will want proof, and I bet she will take a home pregnancy test to prove she is on the spectrum. She is disgusting. Hey, whoever was predicting the autism diagnosis here is right on the money. That's M. Prescient prediction there. Numbers are cool, says, hi, David. Hope you had a nice birthday. You know, I only found this case because your client posted Clayton's messages without context on Reddit. Exactly. The court video with a sonogram of a 20-plus week baby that disappeared was fascinating. So this article is certainly interesting. Yeah, interesting to say the least in this case. Birdie May says, absolutely abhorrent. I don't believe a thing she says. Trust. There's that trust issue again. M. Wilson says, wow, how many more subgroups of society will Laura offend? Good point. Someone needs to tell your client no means no. Yeah, we've got different groups in society where she's got some stolen valor. You know, we've got the cancer survivors, the DV survivors, the pregnancy and miscarriage survivors. Oh my gosh, it goes on and on and on. She's, allegedly faked identities like the David Katz and the Chase J. Jones and the Tag and potentially even the Stella Chen, Lisa Chen account. Who knows? So that's a lot of crazy stolen valor going on there, guys. The Jen says, the autism made me do it. She was never pregnant. Oh boy. Boise Dem says, special ed teacher here. Autism doesn't make a person wear a fake moon bump. It's time Laura admit and accept the responsibility for what she's done. True. In any case, whether she wore a moon bump or not, she needs to take accountability for continuing the court action and finishing it out with insufficient evidence. Desert Witch says, weird, I'm neurodivergent and I'm not currently under investigation by the county attorney. I wonder why that is. Exactly. These things are orthogonal. Taraturi says, at trial, you asked Laura if she sent a sonogram to anyone claiming it was hers. She said no. In 2 recorded hearings, she not only used them, but admitted to sending them to Clayton and content creators. How is that not a lie? Does it not count if it was in front of a different judge? Thank you. Yeah, and that's the thing you can do when you start to look at things in totality. Look at all these different court actions as a pattern, or how do they relate to each other? That's when you can really start to find the inconsistencies in her testimony and in the case itself. You Weren't Prego says, what was the disposition of the babies in Laura's self-proclaimed visibly pregnant belly? Aborted embryos in July do not grow into visibly pregnant belly in October, which is when this photo was taken. Yeah, it's very strange stuff. Judy says, I'm not on Laura's side, and I do think the poor woman needs counseling. Right. The problem with counseling and therapy is the person needs to want to get better. They need to want to admit what they've done. And from what I've seen, a lot of people would rather go to jail or prison than confront their own emotions and feelings with a therapist. And we may be in that situation here. However, if I needed a lawyer, I would hope to get someone who's fiercely loyal to their client the way you are with Laura. Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, he's working for free. That's very forward-looking there. Nancy SV says, I'm wondering if you will address what you know about the criminal investigation. Oh, what a great question. Or where you see that going. I know you mentioned the possibility of R at one point. Do you see that entering into anything? Apparently not. Goofy Goober. Oh, Goofy Goober. Great name. Are you sure you want to do that when there's potential criminal charges looming? Yeah, I mean, you gotta shut the front door when the criminal charges start looming. Dose Reality says perhaps you need to research what pregnancy test actually indicates and realize more is needed than a collar on a stick to verify a pregnancy, like actual babies and real medical proof. Exactly. Pregnancy tests for HCG, blood and urine, are indicators of pregnancy, not clinical proof of pregnancy. Jennifer. The filter on the after picture is so strong. Her hair and face look animated. Stop presenting clearly fake doctored evidence in support of your client. It's bordering on malpractice. It's your job to protect your client from herself. This isn't it. Certainly not. Doc M says, I guess these would be indisputable evidence of a real pregnancy. Yeah, a large abdomen is not proof of pregnancy. Okay. You could have... PCOS or the gluten intolerance, the celiac, bloating, prosthetics, there's CGI. There's all kinds of answers that go beyond mere pregnancy that we have to rule out first. Okay, Total Annihilation says, hi, David, this proves nothing. People's weight fluctuates for many reasons, not just pregnancy. HCG is not proof of pregnancy. Distended bellies can happen for many reasons. Laura's admitted tampering with media to deceive Clayton and others. Why should we believe her videos? This is a very good, concise summary of everything we've been looking at. Thank you, Total Annihilation. Karen Carson says, I must be pregnant because I can push my belly out. Oh no, Karen. When do the twins due? She is not in a relaxed state showing a pregnant belly. This is staged. 10 out of 10 my female friends can do this. Oh my. Quit lying for your client. Janice Baldwin says, there is something very strange about the picture on the right. It just doesn't look real or right. The poor girl needs extensive therapy for what certainly appears to be anorexia. Yeah, there may be health issues happening here, mental health, physical health. We hope nobody suffers from any more health issues and gets the help they need. Tiffany says Laura fakes the bulk of her evidence. That's where our logic comes from. When are you going to link up with Jeanette Braun? Y'all are two peas in a pod. Oh my. Robert, my favorite part of the JFC cult is how much and how consistently Laura lied before the JFC cult existed. Yeah. I mean, people following the court case are just people looking at evidence. That's all it is. That's all it is. Ira K says, look at the difference in Laura's thighs alone. Laura's BMI in the photo on the left is at least twice that of what's on the right. Okay. K Mama says, so then she miscarried twins at nearly 5 months pregnant and did not realize it or seek medical attention. There's no fetal death certificate? As someone who has miscarried multiple times prior to the 15 weeks, this does not add up and is kind of offensive. I don't think it's even kind of offensive. I think it is offensive. But point taken, K Mama. Marmite says, if you didn't know, have you made any inquiries if this is in fact true, as Corey found her to be lying and informed the court? That, of course, is the Corey Keith motion of candor. It bugs me, as if LA was the Planned Parenthood she used, why not bring the evidence to court? Exactly, Marmite. They continue. David, I have a question. June 10th, Laura changed which Planned Parenthood she went to. She claimed under oath it was LA Planned Parenthood. My question is, did you know this beforehand? And if so, why didn't you put medical records in as evidence? Yeah, exactly. Steph Berry says, at 5.5 months, blood HCG of 102 is not a positive pregnancy test. One can't take out the context of time to get the answer or the number you want. Also, the doctor told Laura she wasn't pregnant based on that number at the time. She still didn't drop the case. Okay. Very good. Marmite says, and maybe you could stop trolling on X, as both of you are the ones that keep bringing this case back to people's attention. Why don't you realize, sir, once you have stopped dragging your client through the court system, you and Laura will be forgotten and people will move on. Certainly, if people are interested in covering court cases on YouTube and there's no court case, they won't follow a non-existent court case. That is true. Marmite says, clearly your client has suffered from an eating disorder for many years. To post pictures of her on the internet when she's clearly not well, how is that supposed to help her? The best advice anyone can give Laura is to tell her to keep off the internet and stop making Medium blogs. I agree. That would be far better advice from legal counsel, especially since we know this legal counsel is also trying to do PR. JusticeForClean.com says, ring-a-ding-ding, dingus, wake up. I want to share the good news. Seeking Justice says, hey, DSG, we hear you need proof that your pathological liar of a client, LMO, actually posted the edited picture of herself on the right in your tweet, attempting to look more pregnant in her Medium article. Well, here's the archived version. So there were multiple versions of this image floating around, and they certainly look different. And then his reply was, I just asked Laura if she ever posted that version on the right. Her response, 1,000,000% BS. And of course, we know 1,000,000% means, 100,000 items. So there's no 100,000 items or 100,000 photos. 1,000,000% is mathematically inaccurate. And it's rhetoric that makes me question the veracity of her statements. Anyway, we have other videos covering that. Obviously, these are the photos that were shown in court, and those are the basis of some of the indictments now. So that's why everybody's bringing it back up. Casey says, there is also the fact she's done this to other men. Her story has changed so many times. She must pay you well so that you don't mind embarrassing yourself. Ouch. So 6 months, somebody told you to F off. So 6 months worth of positive pregnancy tests. Show me OBGYN visit for her high-risk pregnancy. Exactly. Show me an unedited sonogram or a fetal death certificate, as that would make Laura 24 weeks. Yeah, exactly. We just need something, some clinical proof of pregnancy, clinical proof of miscarriage, determinate proof of paternity. Any of that would be great. And we don't have it. Mary Jane says, a lot of my fat goes in my belly, very disproportionately. There's also hysterical pregnancy. Oh, dear. Yankee Law Nerd says, anyone that followed this case knows how pictures can lie. Have you ever seen a person that has a gut reaction to gluten? No proof of clinical pregnancy was presented in court. Good call. Bob Sacamano. Oh, boy. Seinfeld has entered the chat again. Sigh, this is exhausting. I thought we were sticking with the early miscarriage explanation. That belly, if it was pregnant, would be like 28 weeks. An easily viable baby. Get the lies straightened out, dude. Taraturi says, let's talk about photos from a year ago. Laura showed Commissioner Duty a sonogram of her son during an OOP hearing. It's recorded. She also claimed the sonogram on the mean Halloween costume meme was one she sent CE and content creators. Can you please explain that on your podcast? And of course, he doesn't explain it other than admitting it was her sister's sonogram. Oh boy. Which means I think Judge Duty granted an OOP based on bad evidence. Oh no. JCM says this is so embarrassing for both of you. And if you're posting side-by-side photos as evidence, you probably shouldn't be using a photo that is so clearly airbrushed in the face that it makes you question what else has been altered. Her face looks AI-generated at this point. Robot emoji. And with that, I believe we've reached the end of the Thank You, David page. Oh my gosh, guys, what a walk down memory lane. If you want to check out any of my other videos on this case, I have an Owens v. Eckerd case playlist. I've gone over other tweets. I've gone over other documents. I've given my thoughts, my opinions, my insights on numerous topics. I don't know. And now I'm tired, guys. I'm just a tired moose. I'm going to go edit up this video. I have a special song that was given to me to play as the intro and outro of this video, so I'm going to add that in at the start and the end. And we're going to have this nice long video for y'all to have for your viewing pleasure. If you've stuck around this long, I'm Bruce from Oregon, Bruce the Moose, Moose on the Loose. Thank you for your time.
This one goes out, this one goes out to the man, the myth, the Esquire of Chaos, David S. Gendras, all the best. Let's rock! Thank you, David, for being her rock, for the courtroom smirks and the side-eye talk, for being so beautiful, sharp like a knife, and offering cookies. Here you go, psych. Thanks for the laughs on Reality Steve, where Rachel Juarez brought you to your knees, for standing by Laura longer than most, and for showing that sonogram ghost. Thanks for the truth from a pregnancy faker and sticking around, letting Laura be a taker, for moving those arms like a baseball coach, and for Greg's email, he's beyond reproach. Thank you, David, you legal tease. You rock, 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 now take a seat, please. All the best, sure, you chaos king, with your smirk, your shrug, you know that thing. Thank you, David, what a ride, with your pop, your pose, you got something to hide. Beautiful chaos in a three-piece suit, you're the rock. Oh, what a hoot! For confusing folks with your lawyer speak and the Reddit reveal that made us squeak. Creep vibes loud from your comment thread. Beautiful is all you said. Thanks for the circus you helped inflate, and for filing that gem we can't unstate.
Look at me, Daddy. I'm a real judge now.
That's not a joke, that's your filing, seriously. For Rule 26, Chef's Delight, but the Court of Appeals said in black and white, your interpretation ain't based in law or fact. Zero legal weight, zero legal tact. Bravo Esquire, but it's fiction, not fact. Thanks for Planned Parenthood and Taco Bell. Bar complaints, Dr. Mitchell fell. Thanks for Aurora the cat and Italian nachos. Woodnick, Deandra, Isabel, your foes. Hashtag, hashtag, yikes. You're taking this case to the Arizona Supremes, then the U.S. courts in your legal dreams. You'll climb each court till your barcode shred, but the legacy's clear. We're all Greg. Thank you, David, still holding tight to Clyde. Chaos, wrong or right, all the best. We mean that true. You held the line with a twisted view. Thank you, David. That courtroom brute with ballerina twirls in a wild dispute. Beautiful. Woo! You won't back down. You're the rock. Oh, what a hoot! Thanks for the truth from a pregnancy faker. Thanks for all you revealed. Can we get more later? You rock, rock, rock. Now take a seat, please. Tell your client to pay her fees. Beautiful. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.